Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Planescape Ward Rats. I'm Eric Campbell, your storyteller for the day, and I'm here with the Ward Rats. We're about to kick off another great session here. Where we last left off, there were slimes, there were two-headed giants, there was gambling. It was a good time. Before we pick up where we left off, just want to give everyone a quick announcement about some of the situations going on with the fundraiser. We're going to be doing that next week. Next week, this time, Sunday. We're going to be holding a fundraiser here on Ward Rats for Doctors Without Borders. And there's going to be some cool little giveaway stuff, as well as an opportunity to really screw with the game. So you don't want to miss that, because it's just going to be fun times. So we'll have more information about that coming out on socials this week. So stay tuned for that. Today, just as a quick revision and a reminder, if you guys feel like being all nice and stuff and supporting the stream, bits contributed to the stream actually does, in fact, go towards helping the players in the game, which could be useful today, because it seems like a fight is about to take place. 2,000 bits. If we ever reach 2,000 bits, the party gets a point of inspiration. Anybody can spend it. Anybody can pull that party pool point out. This is separate from any inspiration that they might be rewarded otherwise. This is a party pool of inspiration. If we're lucky enough to hit 6,000 points, that's your opportunity to mess with the party, and I will roll a random encounter. May not necessarily be a fight, but a random encounter in the streets of Sigil. And then 12,000 points. If we are fortunate enough to hit 12,000 bits at any point during the stream, and that's total, they get a story point, which allows the players to step in and kind of alter the narrative a little bit. 6,000 points. I'm sorry, 6,000 bits. Blah, blah, blah. 2,000 bits gets you a point of inspiration for them to spend. 6,000 is a random encounter, and if we hit 12,000 bits at any point during the stream, it's a story point. It's all cumulative too. So if we've hit 12,000 bits, that means you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 6 inspiration. Did everybody follow that? Because I didn't. Let's just move on. All right. So unless there's anything else, let's go ahead and kick off where we left off last week. Now, as a quick reminder, you guys had uncovered a letter on a body of a Githyanki that had fallen in the alleyway when you had all chased the night hags away from the alley. This was, of course, after this strange occurrence of that weird fog that gathered around everybody, that touched everyone and inhaled and just got all over everybody, and eventually dissipated. So it's gone away. At least you think so. There's been some strange events taking place where you guys have been sort of having these little trips, seeing kind of double people walking around in like ghostly like fashion. Strange visions have been taking place, presumably connected to this fog. But backtrack a little. After you guys drove away the night hags, you found a corpse in the alleyway of a Githyanki. The Githyanki appeared to have been the one that was here to do the package exchange. Which it was, you're not sure if they were delivering or if they were picking up, but you do know that they were here based on the letter that they had on their body. They were here to make some kind of sale or exchange. The unscribed were mentioned, and it's a little confusing who the unscribed are. There's no evidence or memory of anyone ever hearing of the unscribed, so that's a big question mark over the party at the moment. And you guys did see a reference to a man named Balthuin in the letter, and a gambling hall called the Vulture. Now, as a quick reminder, because a few of you are rather connected to the criminal underworld elements, Mimi and Noctis remembered they knew what the Vulture was. It is a small little crappy gambling hall in the lower ward. So you all made your way back to Mimi's place where you had some R&R and then headed out from there straight to the Vulture. You walked past a large two-headed Etten, strolled into the place, and kind of started conning the gambling hall a little bit by pretending like y'all were a bunch of clueless, just trying to make a little coin. While all of this was happening, Noctis decided to do a little sneaking around in the back, managed to find a door in the back of the room, snuck back into the hallway, and oh boy, uncovered a stench. You found a room where it looks like people sleep, like a barracks, and then the other room was a stink that was emerging from what looks like a decline, like this stoned ramp that leads down into the basement level, stone archway with a locked door made of metal, some kind of rusted old steel door. And the stink that was coming out of there smelled like death. It smelled like rotting corpse. It was a wretched thing, which is why Noctis was like, "Sure, I'll open the door." Um, so while you guys were out front doing the hustle, Noctis went down there and fiddled with the lock a little bit, managed to open it up, pushed it open, was overwhelmed with that stench just as the walls came to life and started moving towards her. And we are picking up where we left off with oozes. It's hard to tell how many there are, but they are it becomes obvious to you, Noctis, as you see them moving along the walls and the floors. They're moving towards you like they've been activated, like they're just aware that something is there. And for those of you who need the descriptor, they're gray oozes, literally just pools of sentient sludge that is moving towards you like a horror movie, just. And that's where we're going to start with a roll of our initiative. And I will go ahead and ask the whole party, because I have a feeling this is about to spill overboard here. So just to keep all things nice and tidy, let's get the whole party to roll.
Oh, yes, we're not rolling in
And if you're not rolling on D&D Beyond, just let me know what your roll is. Okay, so Silvio.
Damn it.
What in the heck is your problem? D&D Beyond is like,
Flowback.
I could input all of those initiative rolls, but I'm not gonna.
Flowbex is gonna make some friends.
All right, so 10.
Yay, oozes.
I believe in him. I believe in I believe in Flowbax.
We're friends.
We need a shirt that says that.
I
believe in
Flowbex.
Flurbex.
Yeah.
Maybe they're your cousins and they'll be friendly.
I want a shirt
they
that says
ignored
Flurbex
you.
casts friendship, and it's just Flurbex trying to do a hug with like 4 different oozing,
It is not
appendages.
effective.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to manually. If for some reason the initiative rolls didn't work on this, so I'm gonna have to manually enter everything the old-fashioned way, like we used to do back in the day. 8. And then Selena, you made a charisma check for some reason.
That was a second roll after the initiative. The initiative one was before that.
Oh, okay. So Teak is on a 17 because, of course, you are Teak. Okay. And then we have. Oh yeah, where's Flurbex's roll? 10. How exciting! Flurbex, Silvio. Silvio apparently has tapped into the Speed Force.
All right.
And-
The funny thing is that technically my item allows me to roll with advantage, but I forgot to right click it. But then it came up a 19. I was like, you know what? It's probably fine.
All right. So I'm gonna roll.
But there's
manually
always
roll.
that net 20.
Here we go. Oh, Mimi, what was your roll? Yours was
15.
I don't know why it was.
Did mine not come through?
Yeah, I got yours.
Ah, cool.
Okay, and then 10.
Nice.
We're almost there. This is what happens when D&D Beyond doesn't 4, and then lastly. Wow. Absolutely pathetic. Okay. Well, maybe that's actually kind of perfect because uh maybe that's actually kind of perfect because it looks like you guys are going to benefit from my rolling. Okay. So, starting us off, right now the only person engaged in combat is our dear friend Noctis. So I'm going to just go ahead and Flurbex, if I remember correctly, you moved into that hallway and you were rounding the corner to come help her. Was that correct?
I was engaging with the oozes. I remember talking
Oh, okay.
primordial to them and
That's
trying to
right. I
make
remember that
friends.
too. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just walked in and was like, "Oh, hey, friends. Have you seen my friend around?" Because she's still invisible.
Right, right. That's right. You tried to communicate with them. I'm remembering
Yeah,
this now.
and they were
Okay.
like, "Oh, they're not interested."
So then actually topping the initiative here is going to be you, Flurbex. You get to go first. You've
Oh
rounded the
wow,
corner
with a
just in
10?
time.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, oozes. It turns
Yeah,
out you
right.
actually tied them on initiative, but your dex is
Nice.
higher than
Yeah, the
oozes.
dex is terrible. So I get hostile intent from them. Is there like would it be
Yes.
metagaming for me to like start out fighting? Because they or do I still think that there's a chance I can be friends? I
Uh,
remember I failed on any sort of charisma. They just weren't listening at all. They didn't
as
respond to me.
as both a druid and a plasmoid, my guess is that Flurbex would probably have an understanding that to give you a base idea, it's a little bit of metagaming, but to give you your character a translation
Yeah.
idea, oozes have an intelligence of 1. They
Yeah.
don't. They have less than animal intelligence. They don't understand any.
I
Yeah.
remember what that was like before the Heg messed with me.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I think they need to slow these guys down, or like at least so that I can calm them down. Essentially, I'm going to cast. How many of them are there, and how far apart are they from each other?
We'll say this is sort of out of combat because you have spotted them. Go ahead and make me a perception check
Wonderful.
because it's actually kind of difficult to tell
Lions.
where one ends and the other begins.
Yeah, that's fair. 22.
Oh, there are 3 of them.
Sweet. In that case, since they are close by each other and they are hard enough to tell between them, I'm going to cast Ice Knife at 2nd level.
Oh,
At the one in the middle. Flurbex's intent is to slow them down with some cold. So he just kind of like, hey, slow down there, friend. And as he's doing this like, because Flurbex is naked as well, he's like dropped all of his he's dropped all of his belongings and stuff in order to squeeze under the door. So he's got like his druidic focus in him, and that's it. He just like this pseudopod emerges from him and starts to I think the rest of him starts to boil as he's bringing the heat away from one area of him and taking it to the rest, so that particular area gets super cold, and then he just kind of flings it at the guy in the middle. Making a, let's see, that is going to be not a great hit. That's an 11 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, good. Thankfully for Ooze AC, right?
Yeah. Ooze is not big on dodging. Yeah.
So close to max. That is 8 points of piercing damage, and then it explodes for how much with each of them? 2d6, but I upcast it, so it increases by another d6. So that's 3d6. There's no way to roll that for some reason. So 1, 2, 3, and roll. There we go. That is
cold damage.
That's cold damage to them, to the middle one and everybody around. So the middle guy takes 8 piercing, and then everyone, including the middle guy, takes another 10 cold.
All right.
Hey, slow down. Let's talk this out.
And then 10.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Yeah, so the magic explodes right in front of you, Noctis, as you see this ice knife just shatter and send pieces of rime and ice just everywhere. It seems to affect the oozes just for a second. Mostly it looks like it was the that first initial hit, but the cold, I would say, judging from where you are, the cold actually doesn't look like it damaged them quite as much as that initial piercing hit
Nice.
on the center one.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. But they're still coming. So that's going to be your round. Next up, the gray ooze, the one that got pierced before the explosion, just like the blob just kind of reaches out this slimy grayish like tendril of amorphous doom and reaches out for Noctis to try to get you. So it reaches out, makes an attack. There's no way I'm going to hit Noctis with that. Nope. This thing barely misses you, Noctis, as it splats against the wall, but you're just too quick. Unfortunately, there's two more, and you're the closest one, so they follow in suit. They smell food nearby. Ooh, this one's going to get you. So you're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And then 5 more points of damage. This is acid damage, as it's literally just essentially a tendril of digestion that's trying to get a hold of you. So you take a total of 9 points of damage. If the target is wearing non-magical metal armor, what kind of armor are you wearing? I believe you're wearing leather, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, no, like heavy armor.
Good for you. And it doesn't corrode. You're in good shape. That's going to be the end of the round. Let me have everyone else now that's not in combat, because next up on the initiative order is actually Celine, but we're probably going to be skipping over Celine because you're not in the room right now. But I do want to have Celine and Teak and Mimi make perception checks. And you could do this as well, Silvio, since you're on that super high initiative order. Go ahead and make perception checks.
Teak is busy gambling.
Teak is so into the win streak right now because you spent a plot point last time we were here to,
Yeah.
to like score
forgot
big
about that.
money.
Yeah, he's got gambler's luck. He's into it.
Okay. Well,
To
I have
remind the people outside as well, there's just like a big scattering of all of Flurbex's belongings just all over the casino just to create a distraction. So there's that going on too.
right.
And the smell of prestidigitation
Oh, yeah,
to make it
that's-
seem
yeah,
like
yeah.
you that happened to you. You
Sylvia
discovered
was
yourself.
trying to help
Yeah.
deceive.
Um,
Celine's too busy transforming and clicking things into place to. She doesn't even know where she is, so she definitely doesn't notice anything's happening.
Silvio's very focused on right, this is the guy in the note, so this is who I need to focus on. We're gonna have to talk to them.
The way I rule it is that if one of you in a party environment like this, if one of you makes a perception check, all of you make it. So, with Mimi hearing it quite clearly, as well as actually, I think Mimi, you're the one that kind of perks up and hears it. I think Celine, yeah, nobody else. Mimi, you can. It's one of those things where once you hear the noise, all the other senses start making sense to you. So, the smell that's been kind of masked and the chaos that was happening, knowing that, because you kind of were the one that sent Flurbex to go check in on Noctis as she snuck away, and while all this is happening, as soon as you start hearing what sounds like shouts and like "Hey guys!" like in the other room, you realize there is a fight happening, probably in that corridor. Your party is in trouble.
I feel like we have a word, like a code word that just means
I could buy that.
time to slay. What do you guys
Mhm.
think it is? It has to be something ridiculous with this group.
Something to do with rats, surely. Our name's
Soggy bottom.
Squeak.
Soggy bottom.
Soggy
Soggy
bottom.
bottom, for
Soggy
sure.
bottom's great.
I'm not taking
Oh,
anything
soggy
else.
bottom,
That's
guys.
okay. So I
Have a
think
soggy bottom.
I think immediately as Selena's changing, I just make direct eye contact with the new face of the autognome.
Mm-hmm.
I have a soggy bottom.
It takes just a second for that to click in because very disoriented, and she immediately draws her great sword. And which direction?
We have one inspiration.
Good question. I think I just gesture to the door that leads to where I think. Well, I definitely knew that Flurbex left through, and then I look over to Teak, who was busy gambling, and to Quincy, and just again, not reiterating the code word, but just make eye contact of going, time to kill people, I guess.
Okay, I will move over to the door. It's probably pretty clear that we're in like a tavern of some sort, right? Just
Right,
looking
we're
around.
We're in a
in-
little gambling den.
Yeah, we're in initiative order right now. So try and keep in mind both registering that this is happening and then making the call of soggy bottom and then moving over to the door, with the round being about 3 seconds to 3 to 6 seconds. This is all happening very quickly. So I'll say in this initiative round, all of this happens and you can move to the door, Celine.
Okay.
before your round will wrap up. The other people in this place who own this place, who are trying to protect the appearance of that secret door, because of Flurbix's outstanding distraction, actually are not aware of things happening until about the time you move by the door, Celine, and then they start to perk up a little bit, indicating to the ward rats, you guys are pretty aware that probably next turn they're going to start activating. They're going to be aware that something is up. It's that
Okay.
sort of that quick draw sensation that you have of like shit's going down now. So
Yeah, she's just standing like I'm just standing here with a sword very casually.
all casual like. It's
Yeah.
Noctis's turn. Noctis, yeah, three oozes that really want to know what Noctis tastes like.
So I am invisible, but they can sense me.
Yeah, they have blind sight, so they actually know that you're there, even though they can't.
So do I not have any advantage then?
No, they can
Okay.
attack. They can attack without needing to see you.
All right. Well, then I'm just gonna go ham and attack with my daggers on the central like ooze that was already hit.
The first one was damaged. Okay, cool. Go ahead and make your attack. 11, believe it or not, hits. Again, not difficult. Go ahead and make your damage roll here. 6 points of damage. Ooh, that one's looking rough. Yeah, you can see that it kind of loses consistency as you stab into this pool of gray ooze that's kind of morphing and twisting around. But as soon as you pull your dagger out, unfortunately, after dealing damage, the weapon takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls. So as you pull your dagger out, you see this bubbling acid on the steel starting to corrode the edges and take the edge off of it. So now your dagger does 1 less point of damage. That's going to be your action. Okay. Then next up is the wizard who's in the room, and the wizard who is sitting at the table with the goblins is looking around, completely confused. Next up is the quickling, whose action is going to be she perks up suddenly, her eyes widen, but she also doesn't get an action, and that's going to take us back to the top of the round. So now it's the top of the round. I'm going to say everyone can act like you're in combat now. So, Silvio, on a 21, what would you like to do? Old Lady Mimi has definitely cued you into there is danger in the other room. So you are now aware of things going down.
How many of the not us people are there in this room still? Even though, because, you said they're going to start to realize what's happening.
There is the quickling, and there are 3 goblins and a wizard. Now, I would like to point out that the goblins at the gambling table, you get the impression that they're together, not necessarily with the house, as it were, because as the stuff starts to perk up, they look completely disinterested. And the stench of putrescence and death coming out of the doorway doesn't seem to bother them at all.
And Belthuin's still there and ostensibly, as far as I know, in charge, or did
Yes,
Belthuin
and he
slip?
is also looking quite alarmed suddenly. Like he is becoming aware that something is going down.
I'm gonna cast suggestion on Belthuin
Okay.
and say, with the things coming off of my friend Flurbex there, it's probably not wise for anyone to stay in here that long. It can get quite toxic. I recommend you have everyone in this room evacuate.
Okay. What is that, a wisdom save?
It's a wisdom save at 14.
14.
Now. I'll cast it officially to use up my slot.
Okay. He stares at you. His eyes go glassy for a second. And what spell did you cast specifically?
Suggestion.
Okay, and the effect is he has to do basically what you've suggested.
As long as as long as it doesn't put himself in direct harm or whatever, and it's phrased reasonably.
He just slaps the table with his palms and goes, "Well, I think it's about time for me to go, and I think we should all step outside. What do you think, friends? Yes, indeed, everybody, follow me." And he gets up,
Nice.
pushing the chair back, and starts strolling towards the front door. This way, everybody, customers included. Everybody, after me, after me. He walks over to the door. All right. He is trying to usher everybody out right now. You can see the look of confusion on the look of the wizard's face. The quickling is staring at him like he's gone absolutely barmy. The rest of you, Teak, you're up. The gambling has stopped, Teak. as suddenly the guy dealing the cards and throwing the dice has just gotten up and abruptly told everyone that it's time to go.
Well, then the 52 gold pieces that Teak had won before, he scoops that into a quick pocket. In his head, it's like that replaced all the money that was spent before. It does not. It does not at all. Not even close. He has his pastry box in his duffel. He heard Soggy Bottom, so he pulls out a rock in the pastry box, put those under the gambling table, puts the rock on top of
Don't go anywhere.
on the box where it's like, this will keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Pastries are secret. Pastries are safe. He can fly. He has a flying speed and a walking speed of 40. How big is this room to get to the door?
From the door, you're about 60 feet away. The room
60 feet?
and the room is about 15 feet to the ceiling. It's kind of angled off with pipes and iron rods just going across like beams.
Okay, would he be able to fly over to the door without invoking attacks of opportunity, or is the ceiling too low?
You could so in this case, you're not in combat, so you could easily make your way over to the door, flying or walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that sense, and I'm sorry, you said that the door is 15 feet away?
60. It's about 60 feet. You guys are on the opposite side of the
60.
room. Yeah, 60 feet.
Okay, cool. So Teak is going to do that with his pastries. Nobody can see it now. It's under the rock, and explode out to flying directly towards the door. Once he gets his 40 feet of movement, are there any people that like the goblins are the ones that kept on paying attention to the secret door? Are any of them within 10 feet of me?
The goblins are, and the goblins, to reiterate, the goblins are sitting at the table with the magic user. The magic user, the wizardly looking person who's wearing the robes, has scrolls on the side, clearly a magic user. He's looking quite alarmed right now. The three goblins at the table look completely indifferent. One of them is just scratching his side, just kind of like ignoring all the shouting and everything that's happening.
Okay.
So there's 4 people at the table. You'll be about 10 feet away from them.
Okay. Well, but I don't want to attack someone that's not there to, scrap back. Is it possible to do an insight to see who? Because otherwise, I'm just going to hit all of them.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You want to make sure you don't provoke when you don't need to provoke. So I would say, yeah, okay. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. 21.
The goblins couldn't give any less of a crap. If so long as they're not being attacked, you get the impression that if somebody was being stabbed in the head next to them while they were playing cards, they'd probably like dip their fingers in the gore and keep playing. Like they could not care less. The wizard, however, you get the impression he is part of the staff here and is about to start taking some actions. He looks like he's about to start taking some actions.
Okay, and he's within 10 feet of me.
Yes,
Well, okay then, let's play. All right, so Teak is going to, I'm going to spend a key point to, as a bonus action, go ahead and activate Astral Arms. Arms of the Astral Self.
Okay. Just to bookmark it here because I don't want to spring this on you when you're trying to plot your strategy. But in this case, because we're in such a chaotic moment before combat has actually initiated, no problems at all. Bonus action, Astral Arms, go to town. In future combat, if it's tight and we're in the initiative roll, just so that we can kind of bookmark and be aware of why the rules change. making an insight check to determine who's the fight could be counting as a bonus action or possibly even an action. So in this case, it doesn't because nobody is acting right now. Nobody has any clue what's happening. So you're gonna get the drop on them. But yeah, you pop open your astral arms, glowing astral arms begin to glow off the sides of your body, or should I say wings?
Okay, I'll make certain in the future that I won't double dip. So
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good this time. Totally good. Yeah.
okay, so for Arms of the Astral Self, when I activate them, spending that key point,
Mhm.
each creature of my choice that I can see within 10 feet of me must succeed on a dexterity saving throw of DC 13, or they take 2d4 force damage.
Each creature of your choice?
Yes.
Okay,
So
cool.
if the goblins aren't looking to fight, but that wizard is, and there isn't anybody else within 10 feet, then I'm do that dexterity save, wizard.
Okay. Let's Wizard's not known for their dex saves. What's the DC on that?
13.
Okay, he fails utterly.
Okay, so he takes 2d4 force damage.
The bane of wizards are monks. Spellcasters.
Uh, 2. My gosh, I am not. I'm trying this on my. Okay, that worked out. So that's 6 points of damage.
Okay.
All right, and now let's actually hit him. So I'm gonna hit him.
Okay. He takes 6 points of damage. As you
Yeah, well that
clobber him.
was from the Arms of the Astral
Yeah.
Self. Now I'm actually gonna do my action, which is punching.
Okay. The way of the
What?
fist.
Well, actually, I haven't used this yet. My Yikulwa, which is my monk weapon.
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit him with my Yikulwa, the traditional weapon of the Cholten warriors.
All right.
It's a wooden shaft with a stone blade on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna swing for him with that, and
Yes, that 23 will definitely hit this poor little wizard.
does that crit? Because it's
No, it's
18
Pathfinder
plus.
crit.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so rolling for damage, and there you go.
9 points. Le spank. Yeah, you bloody his face. You give him a good smack across the top of his head. He goes snapping back and looks at you in shock as the owlkin just decks him a good one right across the face with glowing wings spread out across your body. He is still standing. He's got some blood smudge coming out of the side of his nose, and he's scrambling for his scrolls. That's going to be,
Yeah.
I think that's the end of your action. You moved, got up there, did some slaps. Okay, so
Yeah,
now it's,
now he's like kind of hovering right there. He looks the wizard in the face and it's like, "I'll glaze you like a donut."
okay. um, excellent. Mimi, it's your action. What
Okay,
would you like to do?
the Balthorn is sort of gesturing for people to move out of the building. Is he also starting to like move away from us?
Balthwin? Yes,
Yes.
he has gotten up and he has, unless anybody's stopping him, he is just casually, happily walking towards the door of this
Okay.
place. He's already made it.
Uh,
He hasn't technically gone yet, so he hasn't technically moved, but his intention is to get to the door and lead everybody out.
okay. Well, knowing the power of Silvio, I don't interrupt that.
Okay.
Instead, I'm going to use my full action to get to the door and open it to go help Noctis and Flurbex. Hearing the commotion, I need to know. I need to make sure that my pseudo granddaughter is okay.
Okay. You dash over towards the door. It's easy enough to get
Hmm.
to right now. You can see the Quickling takes note of you, though, as she's starting to push her chair back. As you move past her, you get up to the door, and you can clearly hear through the other side of this sliding door now chaos happening on the other side.
Okay. I will make just the vicious eye contact with the Quickling, and my eyes like darken slightly. That's not a thing that I do. It's just more like flavor text.
Mhm.
I'm gonna open that door if I
Okay.
can. And I've used my full movement and dash to get there. I'm assuming with
Yeah.
60 feet. Yeah,
Well, no,
cool.
you probably got about it's all theater of the mind. So the way the
Yeah.
DM is picturing it, you probably got another 10 feet. So you could probably move
Okay.
past the entryway to the door and into the
Yes,
hallway.
please. Yeah, I would like to bust open that. Well, it's a sliding door. I'd like to fully open it so
Slam it
that
open.
the rest of my compatriots have access to get down there.
Okay. Door
Yeah.
comes slamming open. The Quickling makes note of your gaze. You can see the Quickling is a fey creature, and in her eyes, gazing back at you, is that same rationless, rather, I should just say irrational, murderous rage that exists in certain fey creatures like red caps and such. As you just see, this big grin cracks across her face as she starts to rise from her chair, but she's not going to get to you anywhere near in time before you cross.
Not as quick as me.
Yeah, funny enough, the Quickling rolled one of the worst initiatives in the entire combat round.
I
All right,
just love the idea that this tiny, frail woman
yeah, just moving like
so
lightning.
quick.
All right, Flurbex. Flurbex, you got to see that dagger stab and then the hissing like smoke drifting off the blade.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, hey, Noctis, that's where you are. Are you okay? And then I'm like, hey, back off, guys. Question: if
Yeah.
I was to cast Destroy Water, is there a water component to these oozes? Would I be able to dry them out, do any sort of damage to them, or no?
I would probably see if your druid would know if that would be something, and I might allow a nature check on that.
Nature check. Let's
Yeah.
see if I is this going to be my action, or is this just a?
I gave it to Teak, so I'll give it to you as well. So you can just do
All
this.
Well,
right
thankfully, I've
Yeah.
got a lovely -1 to that. Hey, you can always roll well though. That's a 16.
Nicely done. This just so I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe there's
I
a
know
distant
about oozes and
relation.
swamp water.
You get the impression that despite the fact that they are gelatinous and moving
Yeah,
around,
not a lot of
destroyed
water
water probably wouldn't do the trick. But I would say with that roll, you have your instinct tells you that they're probably immune to a lot of elemental attacks, or not
Yeah,
immune,
figured.
but resistant to like cold and obviously acid.
Yeah, if they're all surrounding Noctis, yeah. So they're
Yeah, they're
within a 10
moving.
foot
Well, they're not
radius of each other.
surrounding her just yet. They're all moving towards her. So they're like
But they're
lined up in front of her on the walls and stuff like
within
that.
melee range,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Mhm.
I will start to evoke the gold tooth that floats within me. That is my druid focus, the last remnants of the druid that I dissolved.
Nom, nom, nom.
And as it kind of starts to glow, this bubbling texture from beneath the ground in a 10-foot radius around Noctis starts to wither all of the creatures of my choice and bloom the creatures of my choice. And so I'm casting Wither and Bloom. Each creature of my choice, so the 3 oozes, have to make con saves against necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then Noctis can also heal some amount too.
Con saves. All right. So the first one, what's the DC on that?
The DC is a 14.
So the first one. Second.
Oh, garbage.
Someone's in on this fight. Okay, all 3 of them succeed. Where they suck
Wonderful.
at deck saves, oozes are apparently pretty good at con saves. So
Well, I rolled 5 on the necrotic damage, so half of that. I don't know if you round up or down in your games. So we'll take half of that necrotic damage, and then in addition, one creature of my choice, I'll choose Noctis, can choose to spend and roll one of their hit dice and regain a number of hit points equal to that plus
nice.
plus 4.
Nice.
So Noctis can roll a d8 plus 4 and recover that many hit points.
Hey.
Handy.
Should I do that now?
Yeah, go ahead and do it now.
I seem to sap some of the like moisture from them as if I'm forcing them to bubble, and then some of that moisture comes and sort of swirls around Noctis and stitches up some of your wounds.
Okay, sorry. How would I roll for heal? Or
So,
heal?
your hit dice. So then you're going to look on your character sheet here. I'm going to pull up your character sheet. So you'll see on your character sheet, next to your hit points on D&D Beyond, you'll see that if you click, wait, how do you do this? You should be able to click.
How do you spend the hit dice? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
how do you spend hit die? Oh,
How does one
I actually have
spend dice?
never. I'm just
I
now
think
thinking.
it's under short
Oh,
rest.
short rest. Yeah, you
Oh,
have
it's
to
under
hit
short.
short
Oh
rest.
yes,
Oh,
it's
but then
under
it's
short
but then
rest.
you get all of the short rest benefits and stuff.
Well, what I would say,
That's
do
bizarre.
this. Why don't you just
Just roll.
roll? Why don't you just roll a d8 and then add 2 to whatever you roll because that's your hit die. So 1d8 plus 2.
It's my spellcasting modifier.
Oh,
not
okay. So it's 1d8 plus
Constitution.
3.
So it's 4. I've got
4.
a plus 4.
Okay.
wisdom.
So roll a single d8 and then just add
So
4 to whatever you roll, and
6
that's how many.
plus
10.
4. So you
10.
get 10 hit points back.
10. And you are,
Oh.
yeah, you're looking good now.
And you've used one of your 4 hit dice for the day.
And I'm just like, thank you, Jello Man.
Oh, and the time notice.
You'll be happy to know that your Wither and Bloom spell, despite the fact that only one, all 3 of them saved, the one that has been damaged the most immediately starts to crack and grow stiff. You see it solidify and start to crumble in front of you.
Nice.
It just kind of starts breaking down as
I'm
you
gonna,
kill one of them.
I'm going to move up with my movement to just be sort of side to side. Not that I have sides, but next to Noctis to try and take some of the focus off of Noctis.
All right. Let's see if that works, because now it's their turn. Yes, indeed. One of them has decided, oh, there's another thing here. It smells different. He's going to attack Flurbix, and I don't think that's going to hit Flurbix. It doesn't. Second one is
I've only got a 13 AC when I've
Slime comes out to try to reach out for you. No go. And the next one is still very keen on finding out what Noctis is like. Oh, yeah, I definitely hit you on that one. So you're going to take, good thing you just got healed too. So Noctis, you take, I rolled max. You're going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the impact of this slime's pseudopod just reaching out and slapping into you. And then you're going to take 2 points of acid damage. Man, Shannon, what is it with slimy things trying to kill you all the time? What is with that? All right. So 2 points.
It's a pattern in my life.
And that's gonna be its round. All right. So Selena, you're up next. Selena, you just watched Mimi rush right past you. So you're you're like 5 feet right behind Mimi. So the 2 of you are actually in the hallway now.
Well, I was still outside the door.
Yeah,
Right.
she rushed right past you. She threw open the door, so you don't
Yeah.
even have to open it this turn, and she rushed right past you. So she's right in front of you now.
But I also saw that exchange she had with that Quickling, where she said something back and it was grinning. How far away is that Quickling from me?
Quickling's about 15 feet away from you.
Pretty straight line?
Pretty straight line. I mean, there's a chair in the way, but I'm not going to count that as difficult terrain or anything.
Okay, I am going to use my new feat that I picked up when I leveled up, which is Charger. So I take the dash action.
Yeah.
And I'm moving at least 10 feet in a straight line.
Wow.
So I use a bonus action to make a melee weapon attack with a +5 bonus to the damage roll if I hit. So
Okay.
I am going to just come in swinging.
1 second. Okay, roll that again
Okay.
because you were rolling with disadvantage.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Okay. You definitely missed. As soon as you rush up on her, she stiffens up.
I got it. I missed with a 19.
You rolled an 11 because it was with disadvantage.
Well, no, that was the first roll. You told me to roll again. My disadvantage rolls were a 14 and a 16 +5.
Oh, wait. Sorry, what was the first roll?
The first roll was before I rolled with disadvantage. You told me to re-roll.
Oh, yeah. So that counts. So I was just telling you to roll again. I was just telling you to roll another d20.
Got it.
Yeah. So then we'll take the lowest of the roll, which was 14. You have to pick the 11 though, because it's with disadvantage. So you're gonna and you have a +5 to that. That's with the +5. So yeah, you're gonna miss as you charge up on her. As you rush up on her, Celine, as she stands up, she moves with blinding speed, and you see her form blur as she leaps down off of her chair with a big grin on her face. You see her eyes split, her mouth splits as her face becomes this like smear from motion. And you stab forward into nothing as your blade slams into the table, causing it to shove back a few feet. She's not there when you stabbed. She just blurs out of the way. Do you have a second attack, or is that your action?
No, that was my bonus attack.
Okay. All right. So then
So
that'll be Noctis's turn then.
Okay.
All right, Noctis.
I am really mad because I really liked those daggers. So the fact that one is corroded pisses me off. But I am dual wielding. So can I would I attack with both when I make a single attack?
Yeah. You don't have the dual wielding feat by chance, do you?
Oh, I don't
If you
think
don't,
so.
you can still attack, but you just won't get certain bonuses for doing it. You can still take a bonus attack with the offhand weapon.
Okay.
Let me check here. Fast hands, features and traits. Yeah, you don't have it yet, but
Yeah. Okay.
so you can attack, but you're not going to get an offhand attack. You don't add the ability modifier to the, so it's just a flat roll,
Okay.
and you don't get the damage bonus. But yeah, go ahead and attack twice if you want.
You can still
Okay.
attack. You can still add your regular attack bonus, but you don't add your bonus to the damage roll.
Right. Sorry, yeah, that's correct.
You're proficient with your offhand attack, so you can stab for fine.
Okay.
But like the second one is just a straight d4.
Right. You don't
Okay.
add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack unless you're okay.
All right. I think I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm gonna do my main hand attack.
Okay.
My dagger. How many has the one that like was really been kind of beaten up on? Is he like deceased? How
Yeah,
many?
he's dead. There's only
Okay,
two left now.
there are only two left. Okay.
And they're
Well,
both looking roughly the same.
all right. I'm gonna go for one of the living ones.
Okay.
And yeah, attack. Main hit attack. So I guess I'll roll hit. So 17.
Definitely hits.
Nice.
Solid hit.
And then I roll damage.
Yep.
But then it's -1, right?
Right.
Okay. So 5.
Damage, and then that dagger is now at a -2. As you pull it back and you see more acid corroding the blade, it wears it down even further.
Not just like I gotta go shopping after this. And then I guess with my bonus action, can I do the offhand? Okay.
8? You're gonna love this, but 8 actually hits.
Nice.
So just go ahead and roll the flat damage, but there's not going to be any bonuses to it.
Okay.
So it'll just be the D4. So it'll be a total of 2 points of damage then. And that dagger now too, you see the hissing as it has a -1 on it, as it continues to just, every time you stab into these things with a metal weapon, you just see it start to corrode the blade.
For a thief, Noctis does not really care that much about material possessions, but she loves her weapons.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my god.
Yep, they're eating your weapons.
Hate these guys.
All right, they look, the one that attacked you is looking properly stabbed and is probably not doing so hot. You can see it's losing a little bit of its consistency. The second one looks like it's still going pretty strong. And that's going to bring it into your turn. Next up is the wizard, who is horrified to notice that a monk just appeared out of nowhere and decked him across the face. Not to mention his boss doesn't seem to care. His boss is like, come on, everybody, we're leaving. We're all heading out. So the wizard is going to attempt to act. What can he? Oh, the wizard. Okay. In a moment of panic, the wizard utters a quick word and slaps his hands together and just goes, vanishes right in front of you. And then misty steps to the other side of the room, just reappearing about 50 feet away. So he's a little bit closer to Celine now, actually. And then he is going to Ray of Frost, points at you, Teak, and is going to cast a spell. You see him utter a quick incantation, points at you, and he is going to make a ranged spell attack on you.
Ranged spell attack?
Yep.
Okay.
I seriously doubt that hits you. Nope, no way, no way. Goes wide, frosts up the wall near you, totally misses. panic apparently cost him a little bit too much in terms of like how quickly he was moving, but he does not time that at all. So he missed. That's the end of his action. The Quickling, however, if let's see, the Quickling is going to dash towards Mimi, completely ignores you, Celine. As you see, she just dashes. Now you are going to get an attack of opportunity on her because she is just flagrantly leaving you behind, but it's still at disadvantage.
Well, still gonna try to hit her though.
Okay.
Let's see.
So 15 then. Yep, it's gonna miss. She races right past you and dashes up to Mimi. Mimi, you hear her coming. You hear the little patter of footsteps as you look. You see this blur of purple and blue as she just streaks up, racing up to you with daggers in her hand, and she's going to attack you.
Can I cutting words that?
That's a reaction,
Hell
yeah?
Yeah, it's a reaction.
Mhm.
Let me see what I can do. So after your roll, but before knowing the result, I guess I wouldn't see your roll anyway.
Yeah, I just rolled.
Yeah, all right. I'll do a cutting words. That's a 1d6 away from whatever that is.
Okay, roll a d6. See if you just affected this roll. 1. Mimi, what's your AC? 14?
14.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit.
All right. What's a really
Bring it
bad
on.
insult? I wouldn't.
Quickling is just a little too fast, apparently. All right. So Mimi, you're gonna take 9 points of damage as the dagger slams into you. And then you're gonna get hit again. She is just a blur of movement. Ooh, the next one's 10 points of damage. And then she attacks a third time and hits you again. This
What was
one
the
is going to
second
do
damage? Sorry,
second damage was 10,
10. Okay,
and then the third was 9.
all right.
So she races up on you and unleashes
Jeez.
just a maelstrom of steel as she starts going and she starts stabbing at incredible speed over and over and over again. Mimi, your nature is someone who's tied to the shadow. You don't feel pain the way everybody else does, but you feel your body reacting to the impact again and again and again as the blades bite into you. She is dangerous. At the end of the
Your
round,
death will be swift.
okay, so hold on, I gotta make a perception check here. Let's see. Oh, it's actually pretty good. Let's find out. Whoa, he makes it. Okay. That's going to be that action. All right. Next up, Silvio. Mimi's in trouble. This Quickling is up on top and just stabbing at her. The way she is moving, you can see Mimi is taking hits.
I cast Dissonant Whispers on the Quickling.
Okay.
Nice. Good choice.
Breaking it out the big guns on this one.
So I'll cast that at first level. I'm pretty low on slots, so I gotta be thoughtful about this. So that's a Wiz saving throw of 14.
Okay.
And if it fails, it's one of those save or half.
Okay.
I mean, save is half, so I would roll the damage anyway. But
all right.
So let me cast this officially.
She's gonna save. I roll a 19 on that save.
Okay, let me cast it officially. Use up the slot. Let me roll the damage.
So she'll take about 5.
Sadly, if she didn't save, then she would also have to use its reaction to get out of here. But
yeah, she shrugs it off. All right. Reacts though. You see she immediately hesitates as she brings her hands up to her face, still holding the daggers, so it looks like she's about to stab herself for a second. She holds herself
How this comes out in practice is that instead of in a whispery mode, I am basically singing an intentionally off key a cappella melody.
You're Eric at karaoke. Very good. All right. So that's going to be your action for the rounds. Quicklings, man. Teak, you're up. That wizard is on the other side of the room. You've also witnessed the quickling blur across the room, managed to get it completely past Celine. And you see that quickling disappears into the doorway. From your angle, you know Mimi is in that doorway. So you can hear the fighting happening, but you're not seeing it. What would you like to do?
Okay. Well, this is not the first time that Teak has wrestled with wizards before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this might be the first time Teak has with any quicklings, and obviously saw what just happened to Mimi, but also knows that wizards are really big trouble. Let me just evens wizard. Quickling. All right, going after the quickling.
Okay. You were just rolling randomly to sort of let fate decide which one you're
even
going after?
even was the wizard, odds was the quickling.
Okay.
So
Let's see.
yeah, I do that.
So you're over by the door. You're not quite 60 feet away. I'd say you're probably closer to 45 feet from where the doorway is into the corridor.
Well, I thought the doorway was 60 feet away from me before, and I did 40 feet of movement. It's not 20 feet away from me now.
So that door, the one you're talking about, is actually the door coming into the place. The secret door is on the opposite side of the room of you now.
Oh, I was always going for the secret door, because that was the one that
Oh, I thought you were
Mimi
attacking the
pointed
wizard.
towards. Oh, I think my theater of the mind was different.
Yeah, the
in
wizard.
my theater of the mind, the wizard and the goblins were near the secret door.
Okay, yeah. The wizards and the goblins were a little closer to the entrance. And
Okay.
then and then the gambling tables where you guys were at were closer to the secret door.
Got it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I got it now. So
I would
the
say you're
wizard.
about 45 feet away from the secret door. Is probably
Okay.
about right.
Okay, and Mimi is in the doorway of that secret door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the wizard, how close is he to the secret door now? Because he would go the opposite direction from me, I guess.
So he misty stepped, and I believe it was 30 feet. So I don't think he actually got terribly far. Let me just double check. Misty step. Yeah, 30 feet to an unoccupied space. So he got as far away from you as he possibly could. So he's roughly 30 feet away from you right now. So you can easily move up to him.
Okay, so instead of moving up to him, I'm going to throw my Yekelwa at him, which has the 30 feet range.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Catch.
Ugh.
7.
That was so close to a nat 20. That was so close to it. I see the 2 and then I see the V right next to it.
Miraculously, the wizard has a better AC than the slimes, so this is not going to hit him.
Okay.
You could spend that point of inspiration, though, that the party was given. Rogan 27 was kind enough to donate a point of inspiration if you want to hit the wizard.
Would that be okay with everyone?
Do it. Smash that wizard. Punch
Let's
his
hit
teeth in.
the wizard.
All right, roll it again.
Teek's gonna look over at the wizard and be like, I'll snap you like a ginger cookie. And I'm gonna do that inspiration.
Excellent.
To throw the Yipplewa again. Yay!
Nat 20. See, you were flirting with it. And then it finally happens. Thank you, Rogan, for throwing down those 2,000 bits and giving Teak a nat 20 on that. All right. So go ahead and roll your critical hit. This poor wizard is about to have the headache of his life.
Yes.
Crit 2d8 plus 3. It's 11 points of damage from a single strike on the wizard. Yeah, that rocks his world. He's not down, but his blood coming down the side of his face as that thing collides directly with his head.
Okay. So yeah, but Mimi's in trouble, and Teak is going to go for that. He doesn't like wizards. Teak is not a wizards fan, but for right now, Mimi is more important. So I'm gonna do full movement of the 40 towards the secret door, and
Okay.
Teek's gonna be side-eyeing the wizard while
Uh,
this is happening.
for fun, make me an
Yeah,
intimidation
flavor.
check. Let,
Oh,
no,
yeah?
yeah, totally.
This small fluffy owl is gonna make an intimidation check. I love this. 11.
11. All right, one sec. Because you just crit the wizard. I feel like it's totally flavorful
Yeah.
Okay. The wizard's eyes are wide and he looks stunned. You may have taken a little bit of the piss out of him just now with that throw. So,
Right.
all
Then
right.
for flavor, for intimidation, one of Teek's astral arms does this.
While
So
Teek's
the
arms are down by his side. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do it. All right.
Does
So
I'm watching you.
Teek,
Um,
Mimi will be up next.
Oh, I
Did you have an
my
action still?
I have my bonus action.
Oh, okay. What would you like to do?
Yes. Okay, so for my bonus action, I thought I could do when you use the attack action on a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna do unarmed strike towards, because with me activating my astral arms, that gives me an extra 5 feet of
Oh, and you
that
have
I can do melee.
you can literally move exactly 45 feet, can't you? You can get rid
40
of
feet.
40
40
feet,
feet I can move.
but you have the
So
5-foot reach. Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, but now I have a 10-foot reach.
Right. Okay. So you're gonna go for the quickling.
I'm gonna go for the quickling with unarmed strike
Okay. Roll with disadvantage.
with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, why would I roll with disadvantage?
Because you're
really
attacking
fast.
a quickling.
Oh, the
fast to
quicklings.
hit.
The
Hey,
quickling
this is Teek's first time with
Yeah.
quicklings. So unarmed strike. Let me see here. I'm on my iPad with this, so I'm just gonna. I think I just need to roll twice on this because I don't think I can right click anything.
Okay. No sweat.
All right, I will just do a roll twice.
Yeah. The first
Oh,
one.
what was a nat 20?
Oh,
Are you kidding
no.
me? That was
Against
2 nat
all
20s in a row.
Against incredible odds, you rolled 2 nat 20s in a row, and that one's not going to count.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable. The odds of that.
It's the same odds to do it again. Just roll another net 20.
All right, just got to roll another nat 20.
gotta roll
Let's
another one.
go. Let's go. Ah!
A 4. D&D Beyond is
Well,
making fun now.
yeah. Well, I mean, a 10. It's a 10.
Yeah, Teek, you have you remember in your training some of the extraordinary things you had to do because you had to be fast as a monk. You've never swung at anything as fast as this quickling, as it just kind of blurs around your movements. That's going to be your round. Mimi, you're up next. Teek is behind the quickling, trying to get some of this heat off of you. This quickling looks intent on stabbing you to death.
Okay. I would like to reach out and grab onto the neck
Okay.
of this quickling and push it up against the wall.
So you want to try to grapple?
Yeah, grapple and is that a strength contention?
Grapple. Let me just pull up. Thankfully, I have the rules for grapple here. You can use your attack action to make a special melee attack, a grapple, if you're able to. The target of your grapple must be no more than one size larger than you. That's fine. Using one free hand, you try to seize the target by making a grapple check. That's a strength athletics check contested by the target's strength athletics or their dexterity plus acrobatics. And just to warn you, it's going to be at
They
a
have very
disadvantage.
strong athletics. Yeah, okay.
It's going to be at a disadvantage to grab them.
All right. In that case, what I will do is I want to get to that point of being able to like hold them down and just kill them. But knowing that they are a quickling and having dealt with Fey shenaniganry before being from the Shadowfell, I will have my blades and I will just do, animes when they like are cutting food really dynamically and they just kind of like throw the blades around and you see like the slash marks and and then the fruit is cut into different pieces.
Right.
I think that's Mimi's tactic is like, I'm
Okay.
gonna fling the blades because I know that you're quick. I'm not actually aiming. I will aim in terms of the roll, but she's not actually aiming for the thing because she knows how fast it is. So she's
Right.
just like cutting around it,
Kind of
knowing it
slash
might
in
move
front.
into
Yeah.
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Strategically slash in the air.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll my dagger attacks.
And they're all at disadvantage, sadly.
Didn't roll for disadvantage, but it was already terrible.
Yeah, it was already pretty bad.
But I'll roll the second one with disadvantage, which is my offhand. Still terrible.
Still can't hit this quickling.
Still can't hit this quickling. I will potentially die. So, the interesting thing about being a low-level rogue is if you can't stab them, you don't have a lot of alternate options.
Could you disengage as a bonus action, perhaps?
Yes, I can. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna disengage, cunning action disengage, and run my full movement. It's not gonna help me.
It'll get you to, you can turn the corner of the doorway into the room where the fight's happening with the oozes.
How far away is Flurbex from me?
When you turn that corner, Flurbex will be about 15 feet away from you.
Hello.
So I can't get to Flurbex with my 30 feet. Okay. No worries. I will do that.
Okay.
Because it's the only thing I can do.
Tactical retreat.
Yeah, tactical retreat.
Well, Flurbex is next, so you can actually alert Flurbex to the fight that's happening.
Yeah. I feel like Mimi, my goal here was to dive through Flurbex as like a way to shield myself from being stabbed. So I don't know if this is something that Flurbex and Mimi have done before, but I think it would probably be very dangerous for Mimi to do and potentially get corroded with acid as well.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just gonna say to Flurbex, I feel like it's definitely some sort of like if I had a big Rottweiler and the command word was like stick him.
Yeah.
I'm just like Flurbex, fetch. And I point to the quickling.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Got
when she enters the room and shouts that and points back behind her, you don't see anybody behind her, but you do see Mimi looks rough. She's been stabbed upon a few times, and it doesn't take it. Flurbex, it's an easy thing for you to connect that she is in trouble when she dashes into the room like that. So it's going to be your turn now.
Alrighty. So the oozes in front of me. What's the deal with those? What are we looking at? Are they looking like they're having a hard time holding themselves together?
One of them looks like it's not doing so great. You can see that its consistency has started to break down. The other one looks relatively like it's still in the healthy side of things. By the way, it's moving.
Flurbex realizing there's two different fights going on here. There's one inside, one outside. Now that he's now aware of, he can't be in two places at once. How does it? Oh wait, no, yes he can. He's going to split himself into two by casting Summon Beast. Summon Beast essentially is the gold tooth stays with the main Flurbex, and the second Flurbex takes the gilded acorn. The main Flurbex stays here to attack the oozes, and the other one is going to head outside. So I can summon it within 90 feet of myself. So so I summon it as close to the quickling as I can.
Okay.
And then use its movement. That's Flurbex's whole turn, but then his bestial guy goes, and the other half of him is going to take an attack, move over and take an attack against the quickling.
Okay.
He's got multi-attack, half the spell's level rounded down, so he's just got the one at this level. All right, so he's going to do an attack, and it's a disadvantage, yes.
Quickling sees you coming, looks very happy and a little confused. The side of this
I will have to.
plasmoid
It's really,
swapping up to it.
really a failure of D&D Beyond that it doesn't allow you to actually just click the attack on this thing and roll it. So I'm just gonna have to roll them.
Oh,
separately.
for the yeah, it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
a little
So
frustrating.
I'll roll the 2 dice separately. Oh, well, the first one's a nat 20, and then with
course.
disadvantage,
Of course.
a 12 plus
Yeah.
my spell attack of 6, so that's gonna be an 18 with disadvantage.
Oh, one sec. Yeah, 18 will do it. 18 will hit.
18 does it. Awesome. So I smack that quickling for a d8 plus 4, which is going to be 2, unfortunately. So 6 points of damage to the
6
quickling.
points?
Yeah.
Pop! You knock that quickling right off.
I think it just the second half of Flurbex is it just kind of like grows large enough that the quickling doesn't matter where you move because he's just coming in with like a very small tidal wave on both sides of his oozy arms. Just slams him in the middle of it, and the quickling's like trying to dodge out of the way, but there's nothing to do.
There's this popping noise, and the blur stops suddenly as you see the quickling just coalesce into a single form as its head snaps back and it collapses to the ground. Fast as hell.
The other Flurbex turns and shouts back to Mimi through the corridor. Got him! That's my turn.
All right, excellent. Dealt with the quickling. Next up, Grey Ooze, which is dead. Then the next Grey Ooze, which is attacking Flurbex still. The one Flurbex still standing in front of him. Let's see.
I got 13 AC.
Ooh, almost a nat 20, but I rolled over into a 2. That's going to miss. And then the third one is going to continue trying to eat Noctis. And this pathetically and miss. Just comes slashing out. And once again, Noctis, you easily duck out of the way. And that's going to be its action. Back in the main room, that quickling kind of left you standing there just like with your sword smashed into the table. And everything has happened in just a few seconds after you've charged. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I heard a lot of like squelchy stabbing noises and some punchy noises. So I figure that that's in hand. I look over, there's that freaked out bloody face wizard pretty close to me, right?
Yeah, he's about 10 feet away from you.
You know what? I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna use the dash to try to use charger again.
Do you have to move 15 feet or is it 10 feet?
You have to move 10 feet.
10 feet? Oh, so he's just within range of a charge? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's
not going to go well for the wizard.
Yeah, so.
Wizard is not a quickling. Oh, no. An 8?
I still have an inspiration I haven't used. I feel like I should use that.
You want to spend it? Go ahead.
Yeah. 21. That's a little better.
That is better. That is going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so that's let's see, 2d6 plus 3 and then plus another 5 for so that's 7 plus 5, so 12 damage.
That's a dead wizard.
Then I'm not going to bother to divine smite him.
No, don't burn the divine smite on the wizard that had 6 hit points. You immediately slam the blade down into him and he crumples to the ground with a yelp. He's done.
I hope you were able. I don't actually know what's going on. So, but
I hope you
probably deserved it.
I hope you weren't on my side. All right. Next up is Noctis.
All right. I am going after the one who's looking a little rough.
Okay.
And yeah, just gonna do my main hand dagger attack.
Okay.
21.
That definitely hits.
Nice.
Yep.
And it's minus 2
2.
damage.
Yep.
So 5.
So 5 points of damage. And that dagger gets another -1. So now it's at -3. As it starts becoming, you can see the blade is now starting to get porous and it looks like it's being eaten through entirely. All right. It's still alive, but it's looking really rough.
Did I do my offhand?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay, 23.
Yep, that's a hit.
Um,
This is at -1. So 4 points of damage.
I guess
That one. That one is also looking really rough, and now that dagger has a -2 as you stab into it, as the daggers continue just to get corroded and eaten. All right. Anybody in the room can feel the rage building within Noctis from the loss of the daggers. Next up would be the pirate wizard guy. He's dead. The quickling is dead. And then the last turn of the round, Celine, as you're kind of saying this to the person, who else is in the room? It's you and I believe Silvio are the two people that are in the room. Everyone else is rushing through the doorway. As this is happening, your gracious host, who is casually trying to lead everyone out and kind of sweating a little bit as he's seeing combat, but still very much under the effects of suggestion. He has to make a saving throw every round. Is that right, Quincy?
No, he follows the
He
letter
does it
of the
until he's
law
done
until he
doing
does
the
it.
thing.
Oh, okay.
Or it is a concentration thing. So in theory, if I get hurt, it can break.
Sure.
It's also an 8-hour maximum. So there's other ways to.
About this point, he's reached the door and he opens it up and steps outside. You see him walk outside the door and be like, well, I guess that's it. Oh my gods! As he gets outside the door, as the spell snaps off and he goes, get them! And points at the door. And Celine, as he finishes screaming that, you see ducking into the doorway the two large heads of the Etten that was outside goes, oh, I got to smash something now. And this giant ducks into the doorway, stands up to his full 12-foot height, almost bumping into the ceiling as both heads look very pleased. And the hand just kind of, oh, it's been so long. Do I get to eat them? No, I get to eat them. And they are now in combat. They are going to use their action to move 30 feet towards Celine. So they're not actually going to get to you this turn, Celine. But, oh no, sorry, 40 feet. So he's still not going to get to you. Unless he has, he doesn't have reach. But he's got a huge battle axe in one hand and a morning star in the other one. As he goes, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. As they come striding up to you. You're muted.
The little like 3-foot tall auto gnome with like the 6-foot sword just, takes a stance and is like, bring it on.
Okay. He comes striding up. You can see behind him is Balthwin is just kind of freaking out, like, what is happening? And that's going to be the end of the round. He's basically using all of his movement to move right up into combat. And then top of the round, Silvio, there is an Etten. The battlefield has changed dramatically in the past few seconds as a giantkin walks into the room wielding these two weapons. This guy is huge, and he's intent on Celine. What would you like to do?
All right. Well, is it just me and Celine left in this main room, right?
Y'all are in the room, but keep in mind that right now Teak is actually only just in the doorway because Teak was in the middle of trying to take care of that quickling that's now been dealt with. Flurbex also has a presence here in the doorway as well, having dealt with the quickling. So there's everybody who's nearby, but you and Celine are the only ones in the room right now. Save for the three goblins, only one of them has looked up to notice the Etten and goes, just kind of laughs a little bit as the Etten walks past them.
Oh boy. Okay. What's the furthest ward from us? I know the whole plane is real weird, but so I know it's not lateral directions, but
the furthest ward as
in Sigil.
Oh, in Sigil. Okay. Let me pull open a map of Sigil, the city of doors. You guys are currently in the lower ward. So I think the Great Bazaar, actually, let's see. Let me double check. Lower ward, ladies ward, clerk's ward is probably the farthest from you guys. It's on the opposite side of the city.
I use my last suggestion slot to
I see what you're doing. Okay.
Now, I can understand why we would seem delicious, but wouldn't you rather love a juicy, lovely elk steak in the clerk's ward. That sounds so much more enticing, does it not? And then that's my last suggestion throw there.
Okay. It's a DC wisdom save.
Wisdom save 14.
Wisdom save 14, and I rolled a 17.
Oh no.
And he had bad save too. One of the heads goes,
Sounds pretty good, actually. Shut up! We're killing this gnome.
Well, that was my action. Otherwise, I am going to back to as far to the other side as I can go, because
okay.
no amount of me going, that was crappy, is going to prevent him from smashing my head in.
Yeah, okay. The next turn, Teak. Teak, you know what's going on because you can hear him come in the room. You recognize the voice. The Etten has entered the combat. He looks very excited to smash himself up an autognome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm because of the reach that I had, I should still kind of be in the room and like within 10 feet of the door. So, and then he's running towards Celine. Oh my
to
gosh.
clarify, he came in the front door of the place and entered in. But yes, he has moved his full 40 feet movement. So you are probably, I would say you're probably about 15 feet away from him right now because he's moved up on Celine. He's about 5 feet away from Celine.
So 15 feet away from him.
30.
Oh, this is...
Okay, maybe add 10 to that because Celine was on the other side of the room. The mage had teleported over there. Celine turned around and killed the mage. 30 feet plus 10 to 15. So technically the Etten is... Okay, so technically the Etten is 10 feet away from Celine and probably 20 feet away from you.
Okay.
So not within striking.
Okay, so would Teak have been able to see Noctis's daggers being disintegrated? Like,
no, because that's
further.
That's down the corridor, around a corner in a room down a incline right now. Yeah.
Okay, then I won't say what was going to happen there.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm sorry, you said it's about 25 feet away from the giant Eaton.
You were 20 feet away from the giant.
20 feet.
About 20 feet. Yeah, we'll say 20 feet. Nice even number.
That's not far enough away from a giant ever. All right, let's see how this goes.
Okay.
So Teak is still flying. How far up can he? Is he allowed to fly in this room?
Well, you wouldn't be starting your turn flying. I mean, it doesn't matter that you can.
He never landed.
Well, you wouldn't been able to get into the doorway flying.
He didn't get in the doorway. He was 10 feet away from it.
Oh, that's right. You were 10 feet away from it. That's right. That's right. You didn't get through it.
Because of astral arms, he has 10 feet.
Right.
So he was never in the doorway.
That's right. Okay, cool. So then, you can move over to him.
Okay. So, figuring out with movement, are you good with moving within melee distance, doing an action, and then using the rest of your movement to move as far away as possible? Or
yeah, that's actually a rule. You can move, attack, and then move if you want to.
Yeah, I like to ask because I have played with DMs that were like, "No, you're stuck in combat there." So just...
Oh well, I mean, it's one of those things where they technically could get an attack of opportunity against you if you move out, but I'd have to double check. But yeah,
I wouldn't be within melee range with him because of my 10-foot reach.
Right. So it says you trigger an enemy creature.
Depends on his reach.
Yeah, it depends on his reach. One melee attack against a provoked creature. The attacking creature interrupts provoking creature's movement occurring right before the attacker relieves reach. Creatures often don't provoke an attack of opportunity when they teleport or when someone or something moves them without using their movement, action, or reaction. So yes, you could possibly trigger an attack of opportunity if you move up on him, attack him, and then move away from him.
Even if I stay 10 feet away?
No, not if it depends on what his reach is. If he can attack you within 10 feet, then yes, you would.
Okay. Got it. Thank you for clearing that up. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to utilize my bonus action to activate my Eldritch Claw tattoo. It's called Eldritch Maul. As a bonus action, you can empower the tattoo for 1 minute. For the duration, each of your melee attacks with a weapon or an unarmed strike can reach a target up to 15 feet away from you.
Nice.
As inky tendrils launch toward the target. In addition, your melee attacks deal an extra 1d6 force damage on a hit.
Nice.
Once used, this bonus action can't be used again until the next on. So Since I already have 10 feet, I am activating my Eldritch Claw tattoo for the next minute. I now have a melee range of 25 feet.
Okay.
And you said he was 20 feet away from me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where I still am,
Mm-hmm.
next to the doorway, I'm not going to do any movement. I use my bonus action to activate. So you see it starts glowing up on his right claw, this gorgeous, we'll just say it's like very cool owls in flight, and each of them has like a pastry
Mm-hmm.
in their hands, or like pastries in their beak, and that's his Eldritch Claw tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And I'm going to go ahead and do that would count as a strike. Am I doing that with my astral? I don't think it matters either way. Yeah, they're both the same. Okay, so I'll just do it as an unarmed strike.
All right.
I don't know what it rolled.
That hits.
Oh, it's a 20. Yes.
That definitely hits. Dirty 20 will definitely hit.
Okay. So dirty 20 unarmed. Well, still 1d4 plus 4, so bludgeoning damage.
Bludgeoning, 8
Oh,
points.
along with the 1d6 force damage, because Eldritch tattoo is now activated. So that plus an additional 5.
Oh.
And it's like this tendril, like inky tendril reach thing. I'm picturing Ghostbusters kind of a deal.
Right.
Going with it while he's just like kind of floating, hovering in the doorway.
All right.
Okay, and I've already used my bonus action, so I can't do another attack. That is my attack, and I'm gonna stay there. Yeah, I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna move 5 feet closer to the doorway.
Okay.
Because then that puts me 5 feet from the doorway and 30 feet from him.
And even further away from him, yeah. And you can just take a step and then attack and step back again. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so then that's going to end your round. Mimi, you are up.
Okay.
And he says, "I'm going to shred you like a coconut." That's it.
Get your line in. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Mimi, what's up?
I have a bag of holding on me, but I don't think I have any ready like potions of healing or anything. So I am only on 7 hit points, which is not a lot. I would like to look around and see if there's I'm in the back room where the oozes were. I'd like to spend my action looking for a healing solution for myself. And if that also includes like reaching out to talk to the dead people that I can sometimes speak to be like, now's the time, friends.
Make me
Investigation.
Yeah, I think it would be an investigation check. I was trying to gauge how quickly you could do this because in the room that you're in right now, there's nothing, but there was a second doorway that was open when you flew past it.
Oh, okay.
When you were rushing, and that door is open and looks like there are beds and such in there. Above board, Noctis didn't get a lot of time to investigate that room. They were really curious as where the smell was coming from.
Okay, then in that case, I think since we're like fighting things, I just quickly put my feelers out to the voices that I can speak to, and then I look to Noctis, and I just say, "My dear, I'm feeling quite woozy. Do you have a healing potion on you, or could you find one?" And then that will be my my turn because there's not much else I could do.
I'll
I
let you
guess
hold that as an action. Then you can just basically send out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll move my 30 feet back down the corridor as long as there's no immediate danger around me.
Noctis is still in a fight with 2 slimes, but those slimes look like they're in rough shape.
Okay, no worries. So I'm just gonna like, because I got stabbed. And then yeah.
And then you leave the room. I got stabbed. And then you just walk
she's
out.
got it. She's got it. She's good at this.
Noctis is like in the middle of fighting, but she looks back and she's like, "Give me a second."
Right over your shoulder. All right. Then next up is Flurbix.
All right, let's do this. We've got a big old Etin that my secondary Flurbex is going to attack, and then where are we at with the oozes with me and Noctis?
There are 2 oozes left. They're looking really rough,
still
but they're
alive.
still giving her some grief.
They're still alive. God damn it!
Yep.
All right, well, not for long. I'm going to smash them. Let's go with a. I think Flurbex isn't smart, but he's smart enough to know that acid won't work against acid.
Right.
So he's going to use poison spray at one of them.
Okay.
The closest one, Flurbex is like pseudopod, kind of pushes out towards it, and then just sprays this sickly gas over them. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Con save. What am I rolling against?
D12. It's a DC 14.
DC 14, and I roll a 10. Missed it by 1.
Nice, good, because I just rolled max on the D12 as well. It takes 12 points of poison damage.
That is a dead ooze. It immediately green color and gnarls up into like knots and then just turns into a puddle right across the floor.
In the meantime, on the outside, my other half is going to attack the Etin, so it's going to go right up to its shins and start to just pseudopod out with the big old slam.
Okay.
This is, again, just going to have to roll this and add 6. This is going to, 2 plus 6, 8 points. 8 to hit, which is...
It's not going to do it. The Etin goes, what is that? Okay.
This one's a lot slower than the other one.
All right. That's going to take us to Celine. Celine is a big Etin that wants to kill you, but is currently being distracted by a ghostly golden flying owl monk and this slimy thing that is punching it.
I am running through something in my head, but giants do not fall under aberration, celestials, elemental, fae, or fiend, so that does limit a little bit. So she does some mental calculations and then just shrugs and goes to stabby stab with the sword. But she's gonna do the booming blade.
Booming blade time.
Yes. So let's see. That is an attack.
That hits. Boom. Damage time.
7, and I'm going to divine smite this one.
Oh boy, here it comes. All right, so 7 points plus.
Do I have to just roll that separately? It looks like.
It depends on what level you're using.
I only have the 1 level spell slot so far,
right.
so it's 2d8.
2d8. So just pop up 2d8 plus an additional 2d8.
Nice.
15, dude. Nice roll. Holy hell. That gets the Etin's attention. You draw a thick line of crimson blood across that fine leather vest that it was wearing. His heads both snap back at you, Celine. Oh!
Pick on someone your own size.
The little gold coin's got a stabber. Kill it.
All right. Noctis. It is your turn. You've still got these damn oozes in front of you. Actually,
daggers have not disintegrated yet. So
you've only got 1 ooze left because I forgot. Flurbex actually destroyed the one of them. So there's only 1 left, and it looks rough.
Let's go. I'm gonna finish this.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna do my main dagger attack.
Okay. That definitely hits.
Yeah.
So this is at -3.
-3, so 4.
4 points of damage, and that dagger's now to -4, and you kill the ooze. Yeah, dagger almost completely burns away. You can see the blade looks like it's getting ready to snap and break, but when you pull it away, you see the ooze also spread out into a puddle as you kill it. Finally, dead.
I'm just like heaving breaths, staring down at it, like squish my boot in it.
Splat just squishes everywhere, splatters all over the place. All right.
All right, let's go, Grandma.
Good job.
We'll still
You
outside.
can, yeah, you can still move if you want to rush out.
Yeah, I'm gonna run towards Mimi.
Okay, you rush out towards Mimi. Mimi is at the end of the hall right now, making her way out. And that's going to be the end of your round, which is going to put us at a dead wizard, and Etten, who just goes,
Kill the gold coin!
and the Etten wields up Battle Axe and Morningstar and comes after our little gnome, auto gnome. The first attack scores a dirty 20 on you,
Oh no.
which is going to hit that vicious AC of yours. The Battle Axe is going to do a punishing 16 points of damage as it smashes into your body, Celine. The strength of this giant driving you down as it slams into you.
And there's gonna be a weird sort of glow around her as that happens, and she's going to, not even knowing she could do it, cast Hellish Rebuke.
Nice.
Another 15 damage.
Holy crap. You rolled another 7 and an 8. Damn. Okay. This body of the Eaton starts to smoke as this brilliant flash of radiant light explodes in front of him, and
That wasn't nice.
then the Morning Star comes down for his second attack.
And just before the Morning Star hits, she has a sort of confused look on her face, and she's like, "What did you do, Reginald?" Which wouldn't make any sense to anybody else in the
13
party.
points of damage from the Morning Star as it smashes into you. You feel your autonome body almost crumple underneath the force of these strikes. Selena's at 3 hit points, y'all. You see her taking the punishment just again and again and again. Eden's not looking too hot either, though. We are going to be taking our break now. We're going to pause right there. It's the end of the round. When we come back, we have a life and death situation on our hands as we have a couple of party members down pretty low, and you still have a giant to kill. At the end of the round, the owner of the place, once again, Balthwin, comes charging into the room and is cheering on the giant. Go, yeah, get her! And that's where we're going to pause. We'll be back in 10 minutes, you guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from the novels, adventures, and multiple live streams all into a single grand adventure. It is a deeply strategic game, and now Chris Dupuis is going to tell you how to play it.
Familiars are auto-clickers. They will help you progress when you're not in the game or not actively playing the game. Familiars will click and damage enemies for you. They'll level up your champions. They'll trigger your ultimates, help you collect gold quicker. And they can even help you click distractions. They're basically meant to give you more time to learn about the game and just play around with stuff. They basically give you some freedom without worrying about the enemies getting up to you, because the familiar's got it. So the wall of idle champions is when your formation, however you set it up and however you've optimized it, can't progress any further. The enemy's health is going to increase exponentially, and your champion's damage is at some point, no matter what, no matter how good you are, no matter how leveled up your champions are, at some point, the enemy's health is going to outpace your champion's damage. And at that point, you've hit your wall. So when you hit your wall, if you're close to your goal, there's a bunch of items that you can use. There's potions and stuff that can help you push just a little bit further. But normally, that means that the adventure is done for right now. So what you can do is you can reset the adventure, and all the gold that you've collected will be transferred into Divine Favor. Divine Favor then increases the rate at which you collect gold on the next adventure. So even if you weren't able to reach your goal during one adventure, resetting it will allow you to get further each time. And so resetting is one of the core elements of the game, in that it allows you to basically like bank all that progress you've made, put it into Divine Favor, and push further every time. So when you restart, all of your equipment, all of the characters that you have, that all stays, but everyone restarts at level 1, and you gain gold quicker, so you're going to be able to level them up quicker and progress further on your next adventure. And then that just keeps spilling into the next adventure to the next adventure. Every month we have a limited time event in the game. It lasts about 12 days, and that's your opportunity to collect and gear up event champions through play. So we're in year 3 of events, so we have 3 different champions, the year 1, the year 2, and the year 3 champion. The year 3 champion being the newest one. When you enter into an event and you play in an adventure during an event, you can not only unlock the champion, you can collect chests for them so that you can gear them up during the event for free. Events are your best way to level up and gear up champions, but if you miss the event, if you join the game now and you missed all the past champions, time gates are your way to collect and gear up those champions through play. So every 3 weeks, whenever there's not a limited time event going, the natural time gate will open. You'll be able to open up the time gates and choose from a selection of champions, and you'll be able to run through their event story and collect up to 2 gold chests for them. And you can do that as often as you have the time gate pieces for it. So if you've been playing for a while and you got a bunch of time gate pieces banked, you can open up a time gate and just gear up any event champions you have access to. The weekends in Idle Champions give you a different play experience. Every Friday at noon and through Monday at noon, we buff 5 different champions. And so if those champions are part of your normal formation, your formation is going to be powered up for the weekend. So it'll allow you to push a little bit further and maybe hit that goal that you've been unable to get to. So pay attention to the newsletters because it will list the champions that are available. And during the weekend, if you add them to your formation, you'll gain the buffs from those champions. And then if you want to gear them up, we have chests with gear just for those 5 champions. Patrons are really high-level characters in the Forgotten Realms that will allow you to replay variants, but the wrinkle is they add a new level of challenge to those variants in that they only work with certain champions. So Vajra Safar, the Blackstaff, will only work with champions with a high constitution score, for example. But it'll allow you to go through and replay variants to collect patron currency and patron influence, which you can then use to buy unique items, including feats, and also power up your champions in both the patron variants and also in every adventure that you run. Feats are champion-specific buffs that give you a level of customization for your characters. You can unlock feats by opening up gold chests, you can get them through weekend promos, you can purchase feats with gems, and they allow you to customize the character based on how you want to play them. So if this character is going to be a tank, you can increase their overwhelm level. If they're working for support in the formation, you can increase the global DPS. So you can really customize the character the way you want to play with them. So we give away codes through a variety of methods, like through the live stream, through our partner streams, or through our weekly newsletter. Once you have a code, go into the in-game store and click on Unlock a Locked Chest, and that'll bring you up to the cryptex where you can put in the code and it'll unlock whatever the code unlocks. So we have a really great community on Discord. Our Discord is at discord.gg/idlechampions. We've got channels for spoilers, we've got channels for fan art, channels for discussions about the game, and the community members are just so gracious and accommodating with new players, and they really help players get a grasp on the game and learn how to gain a level of mastery.
Hello, I'm Benwin Bronzebottom, celebrity dwarf and video game enthusiast, and this is my sidekick, Crowy.
Hello.
Quiet, you. I'm here to tell everyone about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. It's a Dungeons & Dragons-based strategy game from Codename Entertainment.
It's a management game with an emphasis on formation strategy, where you assemble parties of legendary heroes and send them on adventures through the Forgotten Realms.
Heroes? Crowy, don't you mean champions?
Players unlock legendary champions of the Forgotten Realms, like Dritz Duerden and the Companions of the Hall, Farida and Havilar from the Brimstone Angels saga, and many more. Assemble the best adventuring party possible based on your formation options, champion abilities, and the obstacles and enemies you face.
Or just smash your mouse button repeatedly like I do and hope for the best.
Each champion has an incredible array of skills and items to let you customize your style and play even further.
Farther. Farther means more distant. Further is figurative.
Well, I meant more distant, but figuratively.
That's forther.
Well, customize your style even further, because Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is available on all your favorite gaming platforms. Steam for PC and Mac, web, Epic Game Store, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, iOS tablets, and Android devices.
Well, let me know when it comes to the BlackBerry. I'm not giving up that phone. It's the only keyboard I can use.
I hear it's coming to the smart fridge next spring.
Welcome back to a very calming stay in this little hovel of a gambling hall, and we are going to jump right back into the next round of combat. Things are looking a little rough right now. Let's start the top of the combat round as we're jumping back in straight off of our break. Silvio, you have the initiative right now. As a quick recap, there's an Etten that is in here that has made his appearance, charging in from outside the front door. The owner of this place, Balthwin, is also in the doorway, currently screaming and pointing at you guys, and is demanding that the Etten destroy everybody. We're going to start off with you, Silvio. What would you like to do? This thing is currently standing in front of your autognome friend and is just pummeling her with a mace and a great axe.
Oh boy.
Or battle axe, I should say.
Balthawin is still in view though. Like he came back in and was
but he's not engaging in combat. He's mostly just screaming and shouting. He's
do we ever get that
commandering right now?
Do we ever get that Gith's name?
Yeah.
Was it written on the thing?
Name was referenced in the letter.
Yeah. What was the name one more time?
It was addressed to Gulthin. So it's GU'Lynth. Gulthin.
I'm gonna yell at the Balthawin, just going, we're here to complete Gulfin's unfinished business. We're returning his wares to you.
Are you trying?
Or not wares. We're returning his effects to you. FX. Wares is weird.
So you're going to use your action to sort of make a deception check?
I don't know if that's even deceiving.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much how it happened. We have no reason to actually be here other than we just found something on a corpse and was like, yeah, let's investigate this.
But that violence has erupted and people have died, especially people under his employ. It's going to be, if you're trying to get him confused or convince him that this is something else, then it's probably going to be a deception check at disadvantage because combat. And because his wizard is laying dead on the floor, as is his quickling assistant. Like, at this stage...
I also go for it because I don't know what else I can do. I mean, I have some. I have reactions I can save if I really need to stop a friend from getting pummeled, but no active action is not gonna do it. So if you say deception, I'll say deception. I'll roll deception.
It would be a deception. You could try to do performance check, but it's going to be at a disadvantage as well.
I have an inspiration thing probably from 2 sessions ago. Do our individual inspirations carry over?
Individual inspirations carry over.
I'm going to use it just to cancel out the disadvantage just so I get a straight roll. Is that cool?
Okay.
Come on, deception. Oh.
Yeah. You shout this. He stares at you for a moment. You see the gears turning in his head in that brief moment, and he points at you and goes, They're the ones that killed. They're the ones that killed Gulthin. Kill him. Kill him.
What?
As he beats you by 2 on that dice roll of an insight check. So
great, perfect.
Yep.
No nuts. Other than that, I just continue to back away from the fight.
Okay.
Well, within range of, I'm saying within like 60 feet, so I can do reactions at least. But other than that.
You keep yourself within range, but for the most part, you stay out of the thunder making that is happening over there with those 2 giant, that club and that Morningstar and that battle axe being wielded. That's going to take us to Teak. Teak, you can see that right now Selena's on the ropes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use for the next minute, I have this 25 feet of melee range to be able to utilize until tomorrow, because it's only for this minute that Teak can do what he's doing. So I'm going to let's keep it Monk. He's too close to Celine and he's too close to the pastries. We cannot have this.
All right.
Okay, so regular unarmed strike. So close. Do you see how it flirts with me? The bee is right there.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Do we have any inspirations or anything?
No, the party inspiration pool was spent, so I think that's it.
Okay. Well, then we will move on to our bonus action. After I take the attack action, whether or not I hit, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes for this follow-up bonus action.
Okay.
So let me get back to that. And these are obviously arms of the astral self, because let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on.
You got a hell of a
Yeah.
hit modifier. 12?
Yeah.
12 hits.
Yes.
It's a
Okay.
giant. He's slow. It's easy to hit.
Okay, and let's do the next attack, and then we'll. Okay.
Yep, that hits. Smack him twice.
Yeah, the first hit, Teak was trying to think of a really good pastry catchphrase, and that threw him off his game. But
Okay.
he then goes, "Oh no, you can't pie," under his breath, and then hits him for the other two.
As everyone takes wisdom damage. Everyone takes 1d4 wisdom damage in the room. The giant just starts drooling out of the side of his mouth. All right.
So let me do 2 damage. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to roll all of these individually.
That's okay. So that's
because
6.
it's from my iPad.
Yeah, so 6 points plus 8 points. Goodness.
Okay, plus I have 2d6 force damage because of
Right.
my Eldritch Claw.
Mhm.
So let me do those. 1, 2. All right.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the way you basically lay into him, you just see him just start kind of nearly getting knocked over as this onslaught of these golden wings just slapping into him again and again, with the Eldritch Claw tattoo coming into effect. You see this ghostly like claw smash into the side of his body. You see him kind of stumble off to the side, almost loses his balance. He looks bloodied up and bruised. You see these big black red welts starting to form on the side of his body.
Yeah. Teak stays where he is, but shouts over to the end and is like, "You make me laughy, Taffy."
Additional 1d4 wisdom damage to everybody in the room. All right, Mimi, it is your turn.
Is Laffy Taffy even in pastry?
No.
Close
Candy.
enough.
The hell? We're just expanding into
fine.
all foodstuffs.
In Teak's mind, if it's sweet, it's a pastry.
It dessert.
love that
Any type of dessert.
Yeah, I love it. That's what you focused on out of all of this.
Life is a pastry.
Okay, Mimi is going to continue walking down the corridor and search for alternative methods of healing. And I think that Noctis is following behind me down the corridor.
Okay.
So I'm going to toss one of my daggers, one of my spare daggers that I have to Noctis, seeing that hers were eaten. Yeah. So
Not by the end.
she'll find other ways of doing things, but I'll like throw my knife back towards her. I'm going to search this room and just sort of continue looking for something.
So you stroll into the room that had the beds in it. Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Okay. Something I'm terrible at, by the way. 13 with a minus 1.
Easy enough. You actually see that there looks like there's a crate that has a couple of smaller crates stacked next to it. And the dead giveaway is that it has what looks like some kind of old, like rotted, eaten cloak that's been tossed over it to cover it. But as you reach over and look underneath it, you can see it's actually got a parchment labeled on collections, is what it says inside. And the crate looks like it's made out of poor quality wood and has been it has not been sealed. It has not been hammered closed. So it looks like the top of it is easy just to pull off and remove.
Wonderful. I shall do that.
You pull it off. In the background, you can hear the chaos in the main hall room. Noctis, you are going to be coming up in a second, but as you are doing this, Mimi, you pull it open and you look inside and see what you imagine must be the winnings from this little gambling hall. The winnings, possibly the thievery that's taken place, everything that these people have probably stolen or mugged for or anything like that, a culmination of all their best little items. But you see the jackpot. There's gold, there's a couple of gemstones, you see plenty of items, a couple of scrolls, you see a couple of weapons, as well as a small suit of armor. Like you see jackpot as soon as you pop this open.
Perfect. Is there anything in
There are
there that
potions.
will? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely collect the potions. I currently today have some beneficial skills in potion stuff, so I'm sure I can sort of recognize it, or one of the dead people around me is like, that one's the one you need to drink.
Clinking sound as you reach inside. There's 8 potions in this, and it looks like
Okay.
they're all stuck in what looks like these leather thongs that just kind of slides into. Those
Hmm.
you just kind of pull it out, take a look at it, kind of unrolls like an alchemist's leather
Hmm.
satchel.
Okay. And if there's anything in that crate that I could then use in combat, like anything that's not just like like a magical dagger or anything like that, let me know. If not,
Uh,
I'm gonna then be like, psst, 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 Rain,
there's
where
a
is
short
that
sword.
stupid cat?
You do see a short sword.
Oh,
No
okay.
daggers. Not in there.
I will. I'll take it with me just in case. But yeah, after that, I'll just spend the rest if I have anything left. I don't think I do, but I'll just be like, Rain, psst, 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 psst. Yeah, you.
Yes, Rain will perk up and start trotting into the room. Rain, who is this whole time, no one's known where Rain has been. But at about that point, you can hear the clomping sounds of hooves down the corridor. Sounds like Rain is coming from the opposite direction you guys are in. So Rain probably went wandering down the hallway when Noctis went into the other room. Rain just kind of wandered off. So you hear her coming. And
Okay.
I'm guessing that's going to be the end of your round. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else
Can
you want to do?
ki- like this is probably cheeky. Can I vaguely threaten the cat?
Rain? Sure.
Yeah, just like I know that the round is 6 seconds, but I just want to be like, listen here, you little shit. Help with the fight.
There's
and
a
then I'll
fight?
just like,
Okay.
and that's all I want to do. The only one that doesn't like this cat.
Listen here. All right.
Listen here, you little rascal.
That's gonna be the end of yours. It is now Flurbex's turn.
Right, Flurbex, the prime Flurbex, let's call him, is going to leave the room now that the ooze friends are dead,
Okay.
and he's going to use his movement to get as close as he can to the Etin fight. With
Okay.
30 feet of movement, can I at least see the Etin, even if I can't get in?
Oh
close?
yeah, you can see the Etin.
Sweet.
Yeah.
This Etin is probably not as as immune or resistant to cold as the other guy, so I'm going to try same. I'm not within melee with him. I know my other half is
Not at the moment, no.
no. All right, so from a distance, then. Oh, can I choose that or not? Oh no, each creature, so I would hurt myself by doing that. Tell you what I'll do then. I will. Am I 10 feet away or more than that?
From the to the yeah,
From
I
the
would say
Etin.
about 10 feet away. Yeah.
10 feet.
That's
Sweet.
your full movement. Yeah.
Poison spray then. So my action to again just spew out this poisonous gas towards the Etin. Constitution saving throw DC 12.
Okay.
Sorry, DC 14.
DC 14. Etin makes roll. I roll a 5 plus its enormous Constitution modifier. Still comes out short.
Nice. All right. So he's
That's
going to
gonna
take full damage. A full 2 points of damage.
Oh
God,
my.
rolling low on a D12.
Did you do that?
2 points of poison spray. That is Flurbex's turn, and then Flurbex secondary is going to take a smack at him. Is anybody else in melee with the Etin? Because
Celine is, and
wonderful.
Technically, at least from
I have
her
advantage.
paradigm, Teak is, but not with the not within melee range.
Wonderful. I have advantage then because the beast has the pack tactics. So that's either a 19 plus 6 or an 8 plus 6. So that's 25 to hit.
Yep.
And
hits.
that is going to be a d8 plus 6. Oh, nice. 6 plus 6. 12 points of damage from the secondary Flurbex.
Ooh. The Etin almost drops. You see stumble, the knees buckle for a second, and one of the heads goes,
I'm feeling a little sleepy, Squawk. I think I want to go take a nap now.
The other one is just bleeding out of the side of its mouth as it ignores the other head. Do you have anything else you want to do?
That's my turn.
Okay, Celine.
This poor little crumpled auto gnome is like, there's probably an eye hanging loose at this point.
Spring.
Yeah. But still, she is committed to this fight. Whatever it's about, she still doesn't know. But she knows Ettins are evil, so that's all she's got to know. So she is just gonna pull back with her sword and stabby the stab.
All right, make with a stabby stab.
Yes. And that is
18 hits.
And it's 10, and I'm gonna divine smite again because
Don't bother.
Oh, don't bother. Okay.
He had 1 hit point left. So finish
Do
it.
it for overkill. Don't listen to it.
Finish
See how
him.
much you can
You've got the
explode him.
narrative. What happens?
I go in and I just hamstring because that's about as far up as I can reach. So I think that just sort of topples him, and if there was anything left hitting the floor from that height, just took the last little bit.
You see as you hamstring him and the gout of blood splashes across the table, the numerous attacks and the blood loss and the damage, it's too much, even for the Etten. Drops down to one knee, and the other head goes,
I think you're right. I think maybe if we just take a nap, we can do more.
smashes the table in front of him into splinters as the Etten just collapses dead and lays still, finally.
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna nod with satisfaction and then sit down where she is, and she really doesn't look very good.
You see on the other end of the room is Balthuin drops to his knees and goes, "What? Ha! You've destroyed my entire gambling hall. You've taken everything."
Gambling is a sin.
And that is the end of combat as you all effectively destroy as soon as he drops down to his knees and says, "You've taken everything," one of the goblins lets out a belch and hops down off the chair and says something in goblinoid. I don't know if anybody speaks goblinoid. Says something to the goblinoids, and the other ones, you get the impression it's something along the lines of, this is done. Let's get out of here. The other two just hop down off the chair and just kind of murmur to each other. One of them kicks Balthuin as they wander past and says, the 3 goblins just casually wander out into the night.
I think Mimi's gonna now that she's exiting and she sees Balthuin like whining, and is immediately gonna go back to being the sweet old lady, but this time clearly the one that like instigated stuff. Yes, well, dearie, when you do some dodgy things, comes back to bite you. Now, want to explain to us what the hell is going on?
He looks at you in utter bafflement, like he's not connecting how he went from dealing cards at the table to everyone under his employ being dead and his place being smashed to hell. He stares at you, Mimi, and what do you mean? You're robbing me.
Yes.
I interject and go, "Oh, I'm very sorry. Where are our manners?" And I start to press the digitate some of like blood and like bodies and stuff so that it's slightly out of the way of our like discussion.
Kind of gently telekinetically moving with a 5-foot cube of like magic. You just kind of gently push one of the bodies aside. Okay.
You have follow-up questions. Yes, we're raiding you, but we want to ask you about this handover and what is actually going on there.
So it's true. You did kill. You did kill my man. You killed Gulnith.
No, of course not.
No, despite killing that one and that one and that one, so sorry, by the way, your gift friend, actually, we found accosted by hags. They kind of got to him before we could intervene, and they came with us too. There was a bit of a scuffle, and then we found his affects and came here. I wasn't lying about that.
I don't believe a word out of your mouth. And he stands up and he says, "The unscribed will have your heads for this. They'll see you all dragged into the undersigle. You'll be burned. You'll be eaten. You'll be sucked dry. Your souls will be destroyed." And I will be too.
The little paladin, little broken paladin, stands up and holds up the sword stain. On my honor, he's telling the truth. I saw the hags too.
Your eye just kind of dangling off to the side.
And both eyes were in at that point, so I could see much better.
While this is happening, Noctis is like entered the room and has
Mhm.
kind of been, like, slinking around until she's like right behind Balthawin.
Make me a stealth check.
Okay. Uh, stealth.
I have yet to beat you on a stealth check.
It's my specialty.
It's my scientific specialty.
Okay, 19.
Still didn't beat you on a stealth check. You are easily behind him as he is. Looks like he's gone into a full-blown panic at this point.
And I am gonna hold my knife to his throat from behind.
He freezes up.
And I'm gonna lean in really close. And I'm gonna be like, I don't want to kill you. I'm tired. My daggers are gone. I just want to know who the unscripted are.
They're called the Unscribed. I don't know that much about them. They hired us. They're a cult of some kind. I don't know how they heard of me, but they came looking for me. They hired me and to do some pickups for them. Something that they wanted. Vials. These strange vials. They're collecting them. Weird glowing little vials of glass stuff. That's something to do with the ethereal plane. I don't know much more about it than that.
Would you happen to know what happens if the vials, hypothetically, were to break and hypothetically a dark, sticky mist spread everywhere and further thinking, making this up off the top of the head, several hags were scared and ran away.
He looks like he's lost on that story. Like, I lost the thread. What?
The thing in the vial, if is it bad?
All I know is that if it's opened, the Unscribed kill you for opening it. They killed one of my first delivery people. Terrible things, hissing voices, sort of strange noises coming out of them that wore gray cloaks.
Where do we find them?
They're in a place called Nowhere. It's in Undersigil.
While all this has been happening, Teak has, of course, retrieved his pastry box.
Okay.
And is looking at everyone speaking and is really taking a look at the destruction that we've done in this den and remembering the good times of when he was gambling, and it felt so good, maybe too good. Teak might have a problem. He has 4 pastries left.
Okay.
He's gonna fly over to where they are. It looks like everybody's pretty congenial. He's reading the vibe. He's gonna open the box and offer one of the pastries to the den leader.
Balthwin eyes the pastries again. His eyes wild because he's trying to process everything that's happening. He doesn't move when he stares at them as the dagger is pressed to his throat. He just stares at them.
Noctis, dearie. Less of the drawing blood, more of the talking.
She's just gonna do a deep sigh.
I know.
Okay. Look, that's all I know. I know I'm a dead man now, though, that's for sure. You've ruined my entire den. They're gonna come for me now.
The Unscribed?
The Unscribed.
Well, then it sounds like you have nowhere else to turn for help but us.
We can protect you.
You just murdered everyone in my hall.
Not everyone, and I just point at him.
And that also means we're very good at what we do, right? Boing, boing.
Here, you should speak to our handler, Norbin. And Teak holds up
Nurbib, lovely.
Nurbib, and holds up a business card to give to him, along with the pastry. And Teak is just like looking like expectantly at the pastry and then at him.
He looks at the business card and goes, "Never heard of him."
Yeah, he's not much.
Look, you've clearly ruined me, and now there'll be a price on my head. If it's all the same to you, I think I'd just leave Sigil altogether at this point.
Yes, potentially. Just one more follow-up. Because your story is... I'm lost. Might just be my age. These cultists are collecting vials, and they hired you to distribute them or find them. But if you open it, they kill you.
They hired us to have them delivered to them, to act as a courier.
Delivered to who?
To them. We were getting them from someone who I've never caught his name, was delivering them to the Unscribed. We were the middlemen.
Oh.
Where was
Describe
this?
to me the person?
Curious.
Yes.
There's the person that was hiring us was pale, also hooded and cloaked, pretty typical, really. They don't like you seeing their face. Paid very well. Said that he had an arrangement with the Unscribed, that they wanted something from him that only he could supply, and guaranteed us steady work for the next 5 years.
And where can we find this individual?
He comes here from time to time. I've never been able to find him. He delivers it to us, and then we deliver the vials to the Unscribed.
And when would he next be due?
Well, a delivery was only just made, so we could expect him in another week, I suppose.
All right. There are options. Where's Flurbex?
Flurbex is currently just dissolving the lower half of the Etin. He's got one of
it's slow going. That
one,
thick,
one
thick
side
skin.
one side of Flurbex is on his right foot, and the other's on his left.
Anyone else have any questions?
You said it was a 5-year job. How long have you been doing it then?
This is our 4th year, and we're not the first that's worked with him.
Don't cults usually have enough manpower to handle these things themselves? Why would they be outsourcing?
I don't know. It's just money to me.
I think
Can
we
I
need to
kill this
investigate
guy?
this cult.
Can you kill him?
No, well,
If you would like
More
to
of a
kill him.
rhetorical question.
And unless the party has any...
did you ask out loud?
objections?
Mimi's
Yes.
like, Mimi hesitates.
Oh, you asked out loud. Okay.
Look, I've cooperated. I've told you everything I know.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
But you've also seen our
perhaps-
faces.
Perhaps we should just take everything off of him.
Wait,
I agree.
if you take everything I have, then I won't have any way out of Sigil.
Hold on there, everyone. Let's not be uncivilized. What do you need to get out of town?
Just
And
coin.
Stay
I'm
out of
gonna
our
buy my way out. I'm gonna go take a portal somewhere. You'll never see me again.
I guess I'm not feeling very charitable. He refused my pastry, and Teak just puts the pastry back in the box.
He pleadingly looks at you and says, I had a dagger to my throat. I wasn't supposed to move.
Teak has moved over to where the wizard is and is collecting his yikala.
Okay.
I think Mimi turns to Celine, being a holy paladin, and back to Noctis, who is ready to kill this man. And I look back to Celine. I'm not the wisest or the best person to ask whether death should be on the table, because most often than not, I prefer just the killing part. But you're the justice representative of all of us, so I think I'll leave this decision in your capable hands, Celine.
Well, I don't actually know who he is or where we are or what's going on, but he's also unarmed and sort of helpless and has been helping, once he stopped trying to have us murdered. So I think
Yes.
killing him now would be in bad taste. Although we should, perhaps it is a good point that he has seen our faces, make some
Not
sort
me.
of deal for his silence on the matter. I don't know if his life is valuable enough to him that would be considered payment for his silence.
I can make a
look over
case for
to him.
myself. I can make a case for myself on this matter. You see, it would be a death sentence to speak of this to anyone. The unscribed would find me. I just want out of Sigil. This is over my head now.
Yes, but I think you're more terrified of the unscribed than you are of us, and if they come to you, you might give them our faces and names. So
They-
let me be perfectly clear. And she
Mm.
walks forward, old woman with cane, the darkness just seeping out of her
Full
shadows.
Yababa just walking
Yeah,
up on it.
she's still bleeding from the stab wounds, and she just leans in real close. I am more terrifying than anything you will face in Sigil. Understood?
Understood, he says very quickly.
Well then, I think you can leave. Anyone else?
Well, hold on there. You have your own casino collections to take away. That's not ours. That's yours. Don't you want to get that? That can be the coin you need to leave.
You're going to let me take my collection?
Not just as like, wait a
No.
minute. I thought we were taking this.
Well, whatever he
Flebex
needs
is-
to leave, I'm sure he will leave the rest to us because he is in a rush. Let us
Teak-
not be called unfair here.
Teak calls from the corner. He refused the pastries. He leaves with nothing.
No,
It's a
enough
full of stuff.
enough coin for him
Mimi
to
will just-
leave Sigil and build a new life and rethink the mistakes he made in this one and maybe find a better purpose for himself on another plane.
And I'm sure
Mimi
he would be fine
will-
with the rest of this going to a charitable cause.
Mimi pats his hand and puts some platinum in sneakily so that Teak doesn't see.
Okay.
Well then, you heard our ward rats. Off with you.
Yes. Yes. Takes a couple of steps back. Like he's nervous he's going to get shot in the back the moment he leaves. Kind of confused by the murder and now kindness. And when he reaches the doorway, he pauses one last time. And when he sees death is not coming, he bolts
Ta-ta.
right out the door. You can hear his boots splashing in a couple of puddles in that darkened alleyway, and he's gone.
Well, that went
I'm
well.
gonna pick up all my stuff that was scattered around this place.
You can pick it all up into you.
Oh,
Um,
Flurbex, there's
I think
also
I've reached
several
for them.
boxes of items and such in the bedroom room.
Yes,
Ooh, yeah.
indeed.
Oh, we all should look at that.
Yes, we should.
Teak, while he's collecting his Yikawa, is going to loot the wizard body.
Okay. On the wizard's body, you find a simple dagger and a scroll case. Inside the scroll case are 3 scrolls. And if you want to spend any time identifying them or looking at them,
Well, I have a pretty strong Arcana. I'm proficient in it.
okay, make me an Arcana check. You unravel the scrolls to take a quick look to see what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I know. I think,
The first one is
22.
the first one is a scroll of protection from good and evil.
Mm.
The second scroll is a scroll of silence. And the third scroll is meld to stone.
Oh.
Well, we have
Oh.
a bit of a conundrum on our case.
Yep.
We have some options, team. My first thoughts are we need to follow up with this cult and find out exactly what they've been doing for the last 4 years with these creepy potions letting ethereal planes into the city or whatnot. And secondly, we do have the option that this mysterious gentleman will be revisiting this establishment, and if we were to, I don't know, set it on fire, he might send himself or someone to investigate it, and we might be able to then interrogate him in return or get some answers. But
Quick
there are
reminder.
options.
Just a quick reminder. This little establishment is part of that huge factory building that you guys saw when you're walking in. So it is segmented off, though. It's kind of its own space. But just to give you some context. So if you do decide to commit arson, you'll know exactly what you're having to accomplish.
Setting on fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
I for one love arson.
Says the redhead.
Yes, dearie.
Fire is cleansing.
Yes.
Noctis is just hunting for daggers. That's
Okay.
Like,
Teak holds one up that he found off the wizard. I noticed when you were threatening the den owner that your dagger looked a little worn.
Chewed on.
So Teak like hands that over to Noctis if you so want it.
I'm taking it. And I'm hunting for more.
Okay. When you move over to the Quickling, you see the Quickling has 2 ornate looking daggers in her hands still. White knuckled as she's still clutching them. You move over when you reach her, she is quite dead, but she still has like the Jack Nicholson Joker smile on her face as you move over there. And you have to pry her fingers off these daggers. They are very well weighted. And as you pick them up, you're like, ooh, yeah, these things are quick. They move fast. Nicer daggers than you had before. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Sheath
This is
that.
Christmas. Like, I will take those. Wipe
So
off my pants.
if y'all want, we can just say you guys loot the place and we can go through your your treasure findings.
Yeah, well, everyone's looting. Celine's going to cast Mending on herself a couple of times.
Oh yeah, I imagine you guys are probably going to heal up.
Yeah.
Does anybody have
Rain?
detect magic or oh yeah, Rain will take care of it for you guys.
I have. I actually in the midst of if there's other healing going on, Celine can use detect magic because she has that.
Rain can actually let's see, it's a burst effect,
Oh wait, that's
right?
divine sense. No, hold on.
Rain can actually cast in a 30-foot cone. So she tells everybody to line up in front of her. I got this. As her golden hooves clomp onto the floor and she turns around and she goes, ready for some healing. And her little golden, what's that? I'm sorry?
Which healing spell is it? Because some work on autonomes and some don't.
That she's casting, it's just an ability. You just get healed. Yeah.
Okay.
She just has everyone regains 18 hit points as a 30-foot cone of rejuvenating multicolored rainbow splashes across the entire party from this little celestial kitten with flaming wings and a golden horn.
As I was not actually hurt at all during it, I just kind of offhandedly go, yes, thank you very much, as I start looking around the room for anything worth noticing.
Okay.
I will. I do have detect magic as a spell, so I will cast detect magic while we are looking.
Okay. So in that case, the first thing you would note is the 2 daggers that Noctis just picked up have the distinct glow of magic about them. They are not normal daggers.
Oh, those are good ones.
So if y'all spend about an hour studying the things you get here, which you kind of have, there's nothing really pressing at the moment. You can actually take your time to rejuvenate, recover a little bit, and explore what you've got here to get an idea of what these items are if you wish. But the daggers glow. Obviously, the scrolls are glowing. And a lot of items in that chest that Mimi found, the crate, rather, and a few of the smaller crates glow. So I'll go ahead and give you guys the money count of what you find here in the hall. So make sure to write it down. There is 1,200 silver in this place and 143 gold pieces.
Who is party funds?
Yeah, whoever wants to.
Mimi's taking
Yep,
it.
Mimi's got it.
Makes
And
sense.
let me know when you're ready for the rest of it, because there's more, because there's a
Yep.
couple of gemstones. There are 2 diamonds worth 50 gold piece each. And 2 quartz worth 50 gold pieces each as well, and a star quartz also worth 50 gold pieces.
Okay.
And there's more.
Yep.
And just to expedite this a little bit, I'll go ahead and tell you all the items you've uncovered in this crate, because it's quite the haul. This is all randomly rolled. In the crate, obviously, the 2 daggers that you've got, Noctis, those are 2+1 daggers. So they're magic.
Yeah.
There is, and this is awesome because this is one of the best items. There is a cloak of protection bundled up inside of that crate, as well as 6 potions of healing, which Mimi, you were able to identify when you pulled them out. You saw the swirling red mixture inside. There's a pair of sending stones. Super useful for a party like yours. There's also a scroll of invisibility in here. One of the big catches, as you pull it out and see it in all of its beauty, there is an entire set of +1 leather armor that has been folded up and is being kept in here as well. You also find 1 potion of greater healing. Rather randomly, as per random rolls, there is a potion of climbing. And 2 more items. The short sword is +2.
Ooh, there's a short sword?
Yep. Mimi pulled out a short sword and hung on to it. She's like literally holding it right now. It's beautiful. Beautiful make.
I
Well
hand
weighted.
it over to Teak if he's looking at it.
There you go.
Would you like it?
Teak looks at the short sword and then like looks at his Yekelwa that he paid like a copper or something for. He's like he looks up and does like big owl eyes, like it is too beautiful.
But you are also beautiful. It matches you perfectly. Here, take it.
So he would switch his dedicated weapon to this.
Okay,
this
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, that was a +1 short sword.
That is a +2 short sword.
+2 short sword.
Yeah,
So
no
yeah.
joke.
2.
And there is one final item, a wand of web.
Ooh.
7
Sounds
charges.
Like grandma.
Yeah. That very, when I randomly rolled that, I was like, that very much sounds like Mimi's. But yeah, there's a wand of web. 7 charges. 1 charge, cast the web spell, DC 15, just as it's written up, and it regains 1d6 + 1 charges every dawn. Yeah. That's what you find. Quite the haul. Of course, there is a battle axe and a morning star as well as the Etten is wielding it. The Etten doesn't have anything on him except for what looks like you're pretty sure are finger bones belonging to some poor unfortunate soul. For whatever reason, they decided to keep them. You also find chunks of rotting
I'm gonna take those.
cheese. Okay. Rotting cheese. Couple of other things that are kind of unidentifiable, but they smear across your hand if you pull them out into sort of this white paste. You just don't know what the hell that is. And yeah, everybody
Tastes
else
bubbly.
Yeah. And that's the haul. You guys pretty much loot this place for a nice little treasure hoard of magical items.
I think Mimi is sitting down after the heal and is just watching everyone loot and find things. And it's sort of like grandma at Christmas watching all the kids be like, look what I found. Yes, dearie, that's lovely. And she's just she's just brewing some tea and is sitting there. And once they're all settled and done, I think Mimi's like, so what would we like to do?
I think after the very long single day that we've had, we should go back to home and have a good rest and think about things there.
So, as GM, just to kind of put a pin in 2 variables right now that your characters would be very aware of. There is this strange person that apparently shows up to this place every week. There is an open door leading down into darkness in the other room that we didn't go into because slimes came out of it. And then, of course, there's the confession that the unscribed constantly hire and use this place. So this place might be a hotbed of information, but you still have threads, and there's nothing pressing at the moment, but you have a little bit of time to sort of recuperate. So just to sort of map it out so everyone's clear as exactly what the situation is.
For the next little while, Flurbex has still got his other half here, so I've got just a shit ton of hit points, essentially.
Right.
I could just send my other half into that deep, dark room in case there's traps or anything.
Yeah, Teak is also doing very well and is A-okay to be on a Team Scout to check things out.
Okay.
Did not mean to rhyme, but there it is.
But here we are.
Yeah, Noctis is always down to explore.
All right, well, why don't the 3 of you go investigate the dark hole, and then myself, Silvio and Celine can come up with a plan of what we should hunt down, what information we should find, because I'm a little concerned about this cult.
And Nurbib is also at your disposal too, as sort of an information broker. So if you need anything for
yes.
that, Mimi, you in particular would probably have that knowledge to ask Nurbib if you needed anything. Yeah.
I do have the glowing sword for darkness, if that's useful. But it also, if you're being more stealthy, that wouldn't be useful, would it?
I mean, we could all go investigate the dark hole if we'd prefer that. Is that what we want to do? We want to go hole diving?
Maybe send a scouting team out first, and then Teak looks over at Noctis because both of them are very, very good at stealth.
Yeah, I could
Pretty
go
good
ahead.
at stealth too. We
Yeah,
we
we're
never
pretty good at
actually.
stealth.
Did we ever get an in-game mechanical reason as to why Noctis turned invisible when she went into the shadows? Is that a
No, that's still kind of lingering as a big question.
Does it happen
None of
again
us
if
know about
Noctis
it.
goes into the shadows now?
Anybody who needs to go into the hole, raise your hand.
Flebex uses a pseudopod to create a little hand-like thing and then raises it.
All right.
Okay.
That's the majority.
Okay.
Teak?
Oh, Teak was looking at the pastries and then takes two of them and divides them so that each person could get a section of it, and then puts them on a very nice platter. We did well today. We deserve a reward.
Teak is
And
like
also-
an evangelist for pastries.
Excellent.
Yeah, Teak does ask for one of the potions of healings. He puts the scrolls that he found like amongst the everything else with the scroll case. But he asked for one of the potions of healing, and yeah, the maybe one of the sending stones, but he's
Yes.
fine otherwise.
I'm going to keep most of this stuff in my bag of holding. Unless anyone wants anything specific, just request it, because you know me, I'm not going to say no to any of you. You're too dear to my heart. But
Unless-
perhaps if we are splitting up, sending stones can be divided between the two groups. That sounds like a good idea.
Mhm.
But it seems like the majority of us want to go hole diving. Silvio, how do you feel?
Well, as far as health and such go, I'm no more bloodied than my jacket or coat here. I am just worried that my voice is getting rather hoarse, and in the off chance, and I say off in the most minimal way possible, that I'll need to intervene once again to prevent someone from smashing a skull in or stabbing yet another one of our compatriots. I don't want that to be the point that laryngitis takes hold. It's a precaution I'm thinking about. I don't enjoy being useless in these situations, and what would you do without the gift of my eloquence and rather refined charms?
Well,
You are-
if we wanted to rest here, I can always stand guard while we rest for a while. If there is a place to rest here.
There are beds.
Mhm.
But perhaps, as Teak said, we should send a scouting party, and Teak, Noctis, and Flurbex are the most stealthy and quiet, and we don't know what's in that hole. So I think maybe Teak, you take this sending stone, I'll keep the other one, and we'll rest a little so Silvio has his voice back, and find out exactly what's going on with that hole at the same time. Yes?
Yeah, I agree. We need to find out what's going on with that hole.
Yeah. Did while we were dividing things up, did that count as a short rest for an hour?
Short rest is if you do nothing else but just have a chill, like relaxing time. Only one person really needs to use the identify, so I think you should be able to use. Robert, what's your take on that? And AJ, I'm curious. What would you say that a short rest could be done while
think if
people are
you're moving
identifying?
While also-
around gathering things, you're
if
not
it's-
really resting. But
Yeah.
If
that's my
it's
opinion.
if it's attuning to an item, that can be done during a short rest. If you and it says that if you spend time, like rules is written, if you spend time with an item, you learn its properties, which I house rule away because I think it nullifies the purpose of getting the identify spell.
Right.
But yeah, it rules is written is a short rest can be done to identify items and attune to them.
Okay. So then, yes, you guys can take a short rest if you'd like.
Above board stuff is none of my stuff recovers unless we do a long rest. Is the bigger issue here? That's why the earlier short rest didn't do that much for me either.
Yeah.
Not counting my breath weapon comes back. That has not come up. I've been saving that for a fun occasion.
Right.
But
Okay.
You're muted.
In which case, while the rest has happened, so you guys could take the short rest. And it sounds like Noctis and Flurbex are going to go check out that doorway,
And
which
Teak.
has just been a never-ending
Teak.
gift of innuendo since the game began.
I was going to say, if we do need to take a long rest, Celine has sentries rest, so she can keep watch while she's resting.
Yeah, you can pull a Terminator basically and just stand staring out the window.
And we have that potion that Teak got as well.
Yeah. We've got the potion of watchful rest.
Mhm.
But yeah, Teak would be going with the scouting party.
Okay. So Teak, Flurbex, and Noctis are going to go check out the doorway. So when you all reach the doorway, once again, you are pummeled by the stench of death. The reek is so foul and so absolute, it tastes on the back of your tongue. When you get to the interior of the doorway, the air is just heavy with the moisture that is created by things that have rotted away. And stepping over the puddles of these two slimes that are still piled up in the center of this doorway, you see two things. First of all, it just descends into darkness, just absolute black, like the abyss in front of you. The next thing is you watch as Noctis slowly fades from your view. She just slips into invisibility by stepping into the dark. Curiously, though, the two of you can see her. You see the outline. This ghostly image of her.
Everybody else?
What's that?
Does this happen to everyone else when they enter the darkness?
Mm-hmm. You turn and look back, and as Flurbex and as Teak step into the shadows, you also watch their bodies start to slowly drift into this translucent shape. However, same thing with you, Noctis. As you watch this transformation take over them, you see that their outlines appear to you. Like you're looking at a ghostly image of them as they enter into the shadows.
Whoa.
Is this normal? What is
This
happening
happened to me
here?
one time when I ate a weird mushroom from a forest, but
Yeah, I did that too.
Oh, you can see this too, so it's not just me.
We're like clear. It's like clear. It's like on river water for once. This is fun.
right.
People
Go.
can see us less.
Hmm.
We should be quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, keep it very, very quiet. And just for flavor, Teak left the other two pastries under a rock upstairs with everybody else.
Okay. So just so you know, if you venture, unless anybody here has dark vision, which
I do. I have
Y'all
dark
do?
vision up to 120 feet.
okay, so you've got awesome dark vision. So
I'm
it
an
is
owl.
complete darkness here. So your vision begins to shift. Not only are you catching the ghostly outlines of your party members, but you can see the gray formation of what looks like a cave that is partially carved into what would have been some kind of form of architecture. Almost like it has been a corridor that has long since collapsed and has been reformed over time. But as you move deeper into it, y'all are having to watch your step. The ground here is quite uneven. The only person who's kind of moving through here without a problem is Flurbex, who just kind of molds to every step, every weird crevice.
I'm on the ceiling.
Flurbex is just kind of inching along on the ceiling. You guys wander, I would say, about 60 feet when you start noticing this corridor begin to spiral deeper and deeper. You also start seeing the remains of people who look like they were digested by the slimes that were at the door. They're in terrible states of decomposition. A lot of their
Dangerous
items
big
look
game.
utterly destroyed. So before anyone even thinks of like maybe looting them, leather, metals on them. It's all been corroded. It's covered in rust and eaten away. But about 60 feet in, you start getting the impression that this probably goes down pretty far. Looks like it tunnels down and corners off. You can keep going as far as you like, but I would say about the 120-foot mark, you've realized that this is probably a whole other section that leads deeper and deeper down.
How far are we willing to go here? This is a long way.
Well, we were only going to scout at first, and it looks like we've scouted about as much as we would without wanting to involve everyone else, unless we just want to move ahead.
I agree. I think we should go back. If we go in to the
We
hole,
should tell the others where we go first. Yeah.
Teak pulls up the sending stone and does it like breaker, breaker. Hello, Mimi.
Who's got the other sending stone?
Come in. This is old lady
I should,
answering.
just so you know, sending stone works once on one side
Once
and
a
once
day.
on the other,
Oh.
and you get 25 words.
I forgot.
So we use
sorry.
one of them to be like breaker, breaker, come in, and respond with old lady, and that's it.
I totally forgot.
And to be
forgot.
fair, there's no reason to assume that either one of you would know the intricacies of how the sending stones work. This might be your first pair, but yeah, they cannot be used again until the next dawn. So successful first test.
no information is exchanged.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I lower the sending stone to Celine and Sylvia, and I'm like, I think it was a mistake to give Teak the sending stone.
We know they're not dead. That's useful.
That is useful.
They
That's
said something about something's broken though, so we'll wait for the report when they come back.
Yes.
I'm gonna go one more, just 100 feet further. And then
Okay.
go back.
As you inch up closer, another 100 feet, and just to clarify, is Noctis and Teak following that extra 100 feet?
Yeah, I'll go.
So Flurbex
Yes.
can't help. Curiosity's gotten the best of him. Just wants to see 100 feet more. And as you,
Teak flies it. Flurbex is at the lead though.
the corridor here is not. It's about maybe 12 feet high. So the leap to get up in the air to fly, you're immediately going to be. You can like fly hop, but actually staying flying is not going to be very possible here with such a low hanging ceiling.
Teak walks it.
Okay. You guys wander about 100 feet more. The darkness is absolute now. It is impenetrable as you guys continue to move closer and closer to what would appear to be a widening corridor. As you do, when you reach the bottom, I'm going to have you guys make a perception check real quick.
With is it with disadvantage even if we've got dark vision, or is
Nope,
it?
nope. You've got dark vision, so you can see just fine right now. Okay. Oops. Okay. So each of you. Okay. So what you see, Noctis and Flurbex, as the two of you are inching down closer, Noctis, of course, being the expert scout here, and Flurbex being the one kind of in point. The two of you pause for a second, which Teak gives you the heads up to freeze because you catch movement up ahead. It looks like it's one of those moments where you're looking down an incline into an opening. So you can see something move past the opening up part of what looks like the cave itself sort of spreads out and opens up into a larger space down below as it evens out. And you see walking past this opening, and you can hear the gentle scraping sounds. You see what looks like the unmistakable lower half of a body that is covered in ornate, articulated looking metal armor that has long since rusted. And what it is attached to has no meat on it at all. It's bleached white, has cuts and gouges in it. The unmistakable lower half of a body of what would appear to be some kind of skeleton that is walking around in near full plate mail armor. Just steps past you. And after a second, you think, okay. And then you see 6 more behind it moving past this opening. And after a few moments, you see them pace back again, like they're walking in a circuit.
Are all 7 of them skeletons, and are they all chopped off at the waist, or is
You're
it
not sure. You can
different states of decay?
Hard to see from up here. You can only pretty much see the lower halves of their body because you're at sort of like the top of a ramp looking down. So you're seeing their legs moving, but it looks like they're marching like soldiers.
So we're seeing the lower half rather than it being a detached lower half that we're seeing walking around.
Right. You're only basically, you're just getting a snapshot that there is at least 6 skeletal looking knights of some kind that are pacing back and forth down at the bottom of this place. And that stench of death has now adding to it is this unspeakable cold that is seeping into everyone. Just
I create a pseudopod and just kind of gesture point back in the direction we came from, and then I start to slop back along the ceiling in the direction I came.
And each of you pulls back, bringing back in a few moments the update to everybody as you scouted ahead what is laying in wait for you down below. And that is where we are going to pause today's game. Good fight, y'all. I was really nervous when that Etten because I was like, if he gets out the door, and he did. It was so funny. He gets out the door, completes the spell, and then is like, "What am I doing? Get in there, get him!" Yeah, great fight, fantastic rolls, Jody, on that damage. Well done. Everybody did great role plays, good stuff. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for another session of Ward Rats. As we are getting closer to uncovering the mystery of what's going on. Definitely tune in next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be a very special episode. We're going to be raising money for Doctors Without Borders, a very important cause. We've got a couple of unlocks. So if you're interested in trying to get in on those, Gary Con Live and Luke Gygax has got some really great stuff that they're going to be adding as giveaways. And we'll hope to see you then. So we'll see you next Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Take care.